Welcome back to the Elite Series. You made the right decision to join us back for match 3, where we have the fabulous EnVyUs versus Prophecy. We will throw straight over to those casters. They're just to my right. We've got Jackie and Snods. Gentlemen, take it away.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for that one. Been waiting for you, baby.
It's been a while, hasn't it? I mean,
It has.
I think we're ready to go live in this one as well.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be getting underway very shortly, and it should be an explosive game. I mean, Team Infused, they've always looked a bit wild, haven't they, in recent form?
I guess wild meaning like unstructured.
Yeah.
They play that more puggy style. Obviously, being a recently formed team, I mean, the same can be said for EnVyUs Academy, though.
Obviously, going into Cobblestone to kick it off, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Infused, I mean, historically, throughout the majority of their lineups, they've always loved to play this. They've centralized a lot of that around it. I mean, a lot of it just comes down to purely their in-game leader in Red Snake.
Yeah, he loves this map. Red Snake loves Cobblestone, plays plays on the A side, on CT side, also plays with Echoes as well. So bringing in that more inexperienced player alongside, trying to rise him up that way and teach him that way. Still, though, I mean, we casted Cobblestone Infused versus Fish 123, was it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they lost, what, 16-5, whatever. It was a very one-sided affair, and it seemed like the T's just rushed up A, they would kill Red Snake, they would kill Echoes, or they'd trade frag it that way, and they would win in the afterplants. It feels like if Red Snake and Echoes could hold on to the A site, we'll have a solid CT side for Infused.
And obviously, I know there's quite a major factor that would have been touched on the desk as well, but the fact that Fry isn't here, coming
massive,
in big.
isn't it?
Every game we've seen since Fry was added to that Infused lineup, he's been playing his heart out. We've seen him top frag, I'd say every match we saw them play since he was added into the roster, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly that, but obviously standing in for him will be Trials. Again, another player similar to Echoes as well. Yeah. Inexperienced, here to get some stage experience in himself. Red Snake there, the RGL captain will be starting on that CT side. Kit and smoke grenade for him. Interesting to see if Infused will stack towards B, unless they're going to play it more default, that 2-1-2 setup. Already though, Echoes is the long spawn, going to be picking up towards A long, maybe even mid from Matrix. Actually will be taking that safer choice, but already Infused are fast.
Oh, Echoes gets a lot of information, but he actually takes 10 damage as well. He's going to be able to fall back, but he needs to relay this to his teammates quickly. They're just going to try and overwhelm, charging him with those Glocks. The speed they have is going to be very good. Actually might be backtracking off. They're playing a bit of the mind games here.
Don't know if I like this though. You can see no one's really rotated from that B site. Red Snake now towards drop, has no armor. If the T's go back towards drop, exploit the fact he has no armor, they could be winning the round just based off of that.
Just turn him in around the world, but Eccles now he's in the backline. If they're not ready for this, this could be their downfall. Eccles kicks it off fantastically, gets the execution, the second frag as well. Eccles stays alive for way too long. 2 frags on the board. That is a huge opener.
Confident as well to go for that information play. Comes in behind 2 of those EnVyUs players, and now with the 1-man lead, it's going to be the CT side with 1 minute left. Bomb the remaining T players towards A long. Going to be seeing if they can find a frag. Has the P2000 one-shot headshot. Peeks out, doesn't really spot too much though.
Haji leading the charge here. He's going to be the one you want to witness. Definitely a damage dealer. But the fact is, Trials is in a prime time position to go huge. He peeks out, says hello as he shuts down VKL. Hungry for more as well, hoping they're going to try and contest this. Haji will be able to do some damage. Hungry for a second frag here as he just bites away. But all of a sudden, EnVyUs recover the situation massively. But here comes Mick. Finds 1 frag, but it's not quite enough. That round went from Infused locking it down to instantly EnVyUs.
How is that even possible? I mean, he had the 2-man lead from there. Red Snake pushing that smoke towards Connector. I mean, giving away his life for nothing. Completely pointless there. Had the kit as well. Unfortunately for him, though, did die. So already right now for the T's, going to be the 1-0 in favor of them. What's interesting as well is the fact that you have Echoes and Trials playing on that A site, right? Both of the inexperienced players playing on that harder site, a site where experience is so important. A lot of the time it's not really setups, it's more just playing off of feel and playing off of cohesion and chemistry, but you plug it in your substitute just to play there instantly. I mean, unless they've gone over some predetermined stuff, it would be very hard for them to hold that onto the buy rounds.
Oh, we've seen this used an awful lot by Infused as well. Very common setup they like to go for here with the crossfires. But the thing is, the T's are just going to negate that. They're going to walk completely around it, make their way into the site, and now just condense onto the CTs. VKL gets the opening frag, shuts down Trials with the UMP as well. So they're getting a lot of money off the back of this. Haji's going to do some damage. There comes Jax into the effect, and it just leaves 1 man left standing, the in-game leader, but now he's having a bit of a sleep on the floor.
He does indeed. So EnVyUs Academy picking them up as well. 2-0 for them. Fairly clean as well. Was the force buy, of course, from Infused. So now on the eco, try and stack up as much cash as possible. We can see as well, no one right now has enough money for the AWP into the next round. We'll be seeing no AWP for the CT side of Infused. And Cobblestone's a map where the AWP is so important, especially on your CT side. I mean, typically right now in the meta, you'd have AWP played towards Connector. He's fast rotate towards B. If there is an execute towards that B site, he's there towards Rock, holding those long-range angles towards stairs and whatnot. So not having the AWP here currently could be detrimental to their CT side.
What could be detrimental as well is the fact Lambert's just able to drop his way down, rip his way through them with the MP7. His teammates are just finding frags left, right, and center as well, but Eccles actually finds that P250 frag. I mean, that is absolutely brutal, being able to connect that headshot there, leaving it just on him. He scavenged the MP7. He's going to just be holding the angles, waiting for them to push into him. Even if he just gets a couple of kills with this weapon, that's the best case scenario.
$600 per kill here with the MP7 in hand. $600, that'll grant them an extra Molotov. Molotov being so important as well. I mean, stopping the B rush. We've already seen a fast execute and a fast rush from EnVyUs towards that mid position. Eccles going to be needing those Molotovs in hand when push comes to shove. Still though, decent round there for Team EnVyUs. Only losing 2 players, 3 players staying alive, which means obviously for them going to be building up that bank slowly but surely. Not really too much you can do with the MP7 into the next round. I mean, even if you save it, what can you really do? Doesn't have armor as well, so there's really no point in him saving this one. Going to be interesting to see if he actually does keep it, though. And if he does, who would be wielding it? Maybe Red Snake towards drop. I mean, if they want to keep their economy as good as possible.
You see Neelem there as well, trying to get a little bit of hype behind the team. Obviously going for the fist bumps, just trying to rally him up. He is one of the critical factors as well. Quite a hype man. Wants to get team EnVyUs lively.
Yeah, trying to build up the momentum in the team. Get people talking as well, trying to start communication. I mean, sometimes when you're losing rounds, things get a little bit flat. Just trying to fire people up and get them coming. We've seen some fairly bad communication already today from players, so... Eccles though, getting nice and aggressive. Flashes out, going for a fast peek here.
Oh, Eccles running a bit of a risk. Nice tag, and he actually plays it smart. Seems like he's just going to back off, go for the smoke play.
Surprised to see so much confidence in such an inexperienced player as well. Smart play there from him. That could have been a call from one of his teammates as well, just to push along, show some aggression, show that on stage, on land, you're not afraid of these Europeans.
Yeah, really good smart play coming out from Eccles. Actually impressing me right now in terms of his performance.
Yeah, and actually Red Snake will be taking the mantle of the A site. As mentioned before in the preface, will be Eccles and Red Snake. Boost comes in, trying to see if they can spot anything to do with the CT defense, trying to find an entry here, see if anyone's playing up with that top CT wall, trying to land a headshot and get the first frag. Already a 5 versus 5 stalemate with 1 minute left into the round. Smoke will go to the top of long, take control of A long here, and this is the point where they will have control of the map, of the A long position, and from there you can throw your execute on towards A, you can fake it as well. Eccles holding quite a nice angle here towards cannons. And as well, Red Snake there towards APC. The problem is, though, with this setup, you can see Red Snake's forced to have to watch mid and watch A long, but that could play into their hands. He might be trying to bait Eccles here.
That's the thing, these crossfires that the T's are just holding as well. If they push into that, if Infused try and go for any information, they're going to get dispatched fairly quickly. Now they're going to invest with that utility, attempt to go for this. They only have 30 seconds left to play with, so you know it's going to be a full commit. They can rotate quick, but let's see if they can hold them back. Eccles finishes off Lambert. They weaken in the beginning of the round. Jackson, VKL, though, they're just the assassins right now, clearing out the site, getting all the vermin out of there and taking it over.
3 versus 4 now. Get onto trials. Just 3 HEs. They could try and, you know, more to strike onto that A site. Fortunate for them, though. Actually, this might be a boost here from Team EnVyUs.
I think as you can see, the CT actually have made the call to save as well. They want to just try hold on to those weapons. No, this 3 versus 4 retake isn't likely for them. They just want to back off, hold on to that. If T's get a little bit over-exaggerated here, extend quite far, potentially a bit Rambo, it could come back to haunt.
I mean, notoriously as well, that A site on Cobblestone is so hard to retake under balcony towards wood. Top or mid, I mean, so many headshot angles that T's can have. There's so much ground that you have to retake and cover once you are going for that retake on the CT side. So it's going to cut their losses now and allow EnVyUs to get to 4 rounds. I mean, 650 there onto Eccles. You've lost 4 rounds in a row. That's 2.5k. So he should be able to buy up into this one. They'll be able to drop over some rifles as well. We should be seeing a fairly strong buy here for the side of Infused. Then again, though, right, if they buy up into this one and lose it, again, I mean, I've already mentioned before, potentially weakness on that A site. We saw it before when we were casting Infused. We need to see Red Snake and Eccles really step up and not allow EnVyUs just to roll over them and take control of that site.
Confidence is such a major factor in this. I mean, Counter-Strike is confidence. Without confidence, you've already lost.
Yeah, I mean, just Eccles pushing out long, that's a good sign for me. So, all the smoke goes out towards platform. Just trying to deny as much information as possible. MCK now boosted up towards tree as well. So, position like this so early on into the game might be able to catch a player off guard, try and find 1 or 2 frags there, but luckily for him, they're just doing a slow default right now. They're trying to see if Eccles or another one of these CT players will go for some aggression. You can see already the SMG buy onto him. 4 sets of kits, though. Decent utility. I mean, we've got 3 Molotovs there. And on that T side, you can see as the clock goes down, slowly the utilities bled out from the Ts, and eventually they are going to be forced into one of these sites. 2 players towards A long. Going to be smoking off the top of A long there. And from here, they can close off as many angles as possible, take control of A long. They can even fake it too. Once they've already shown their execute. They've executed towards A before. They won the round that way. Maybe Lambert's going to make the call to do the exact same again and then fake it.
Yeah, very possible. Right now, you can see once again they're playing the very slow game factor here.
What's interesting as well is Trials now playing towards A. Red Snake's been demoted towards drop, so already a shift in the ranks as Team Infused are changing up their game plan and their play style, shifting in the substitute and the newly formed teammate Eccles onto that hard A site. So luckily for them though, it's going to be up to Aaron and MCK, potentially the 2 stars for this Team Infused lineup coming in towards B. 5 players in the bomb, no one's going towards drop.
And this is the thing, you know it's the full commit as well. There's no time left to play with. Mick in the elevated angle up by Tree is going to rain down a Hellfire of bullets. Finds opening frag. Aaron does damage as well, but unfortunately him and Red Snake have been taken down. It relies quite heavily on Mick here. Just needs to try and delay, but he does fall. And it all comes down to one man and Eccles as they will get the plant in the last second. Haji's on 2 HP. It would only take 1 round to take it down, but he has the angle covered. And you can't get past Haji.
That's huge. Force Spy comes in for the CT side and they lose it. Money's going to be so low on their side. Already now EnVyUs on 5 rounds. CT's forced onto an eco here as well. 5-0. The eco coming out for Infused. I mean, they are going for the quasi-buy. You can see 4 sets of armor. Trials saving up as well. Only got 3,000. So going to be seeing a very strong buy into the next round. Potentially AWPs, 4 sets of utility, and Kevlar. See Red Snake and MCK. They have the HGs to try and bombard that B platform in case EnVyUs do to lend themselves towards that southern map.
This is the thing I was going to say as well, actually. Infused in these rounds where they have the deagles in hand, they can still be very volatile. This is where they play a lot more aggressive, that shock and awe style. It's to catch them off guard.
Skill is not what this team lacks, right? It's cohesion, it's structure. MCK potentially is the best pistol aim in the UK. Eccles highly skilled. Aaron as well. I mean, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, considered the best player in the UK. So you put a deagle in his hands, and magic can happen. He's
going to peel back those scalps left, right, and center snods. But EnVyUs still sticking to the structure there, playing it slow and smart as they just hold out. But once again, it seems like B is going to be the area they're hitting. Mick in a prime time position to do damage. If they don't clear this and actually walk out onto the site, these deagle frags could be huge. Tries to play it clever, and he will be able to get the opening frag. Hungry for more as he just jiggle peeks, but Haji takes him down. Everyone just goes huge on the side of EnVyUs at that point, tears their way through. Eccles the last man left standing, but he's miles out of position towards A.
Once again, it's Adam Eccles in the 1 versus X. You can see already. Ball goes down, James there. Give them a little chat, maybe a little bit of a prep talk. It's all right, lads, we'll get them next time. Next buy round, we'll have everything we need. AWPs, utility, molotovs, counter flashbangs. But right now for the side of Team EnVyUs, I mean, they're just playing it by the book. I mean, you win pistol, okay. Go into the first buy round, you play it slow. You play your slow default, you wait for any pushes, you catch Eccles off guard, and then from there, they go for the default, they take control of the map. I mean, this is very slow, steady existence type style calling right now coming from Lambert. And being the AWPer as well, I mean, once the AWP comes into play for this T side, I mean, right now they don't really need it, but seeing if that AWP will be, you know, making it easier for them to take control of the map. I mean, if you have the AWP in your IGL's hands, you don't really need to be smoking the top of long. You can just face it, peek it, see there's no one there, and that way you take control even easier.
This is the thing. This is where they need to try and get back into it. They just need to reset themselves, come in with a level head. They finally got the AWP out because they have the economy to work with. You can see Nilan behind them trying to rally him up. This is the round Infused need to start making a change.
Exactly that. If they lose this one, allow Team EnVyUs to get to 7-0. At that point, they'll be on another forced buy, another quasi-buy, and already EnVyUs are looking like they're going to be winning the half. So VKL going to be the B player just doing some information, and oh my goodness, MCK loses that duel there to VKL. Already 15 seconds into the round, Jack, with a 1-man advantage. Red Snake trying to equalize the numbers, bringing out the AWP.
That's such a shame as well. Really smart play from Mick, changing up the tempo. You go for that aggressive play. He's in a good position. You would have thought he would have had that frag in the bag at that point. VKL, though, just pulls it out somehow.
It does indeed. So, 1-man advantage, 1 minute 10 on the clock. Bomb going, well, not really going at the moment, but is situated outside that A bomb site. Eccles, and now Aaron, so someone else this time.
Yeah.
We've had Trials, we've had Red Snake here, but third time lucky, who knows. Aaron now brought towards his A site. Eccles towards Wood as well, and Aaron playing towards that APC. So good setup here. Problem is that the other man disadvantage. If they lose this site, the round is instantly over.
I'm going to go for this cheeky little boost that they love to whip out. Just sniffing around, see if they can spot out any CTs.
But you can see their playstyle, right? Very, very slow. Very, very methodical as well. They clear everything. They don't allow anything that catch them off guard. Infused couldn't really stack anywhere. They couldn't trying to play off the cuffs. Just playing this default style, but right now Trials trying to see if he can get a first round for Infused.
Eccles, though, he needs to be the difference maker. Oh, round Eccles with a beautiful shot, but it's not going to be enough. Jackson Payscale instantly get 2 of those frags back in the favor of Team EnVyUs out of nowhere. Red Snake's the last man left standing. Of course, he's out of position, and Jamie just needs to save. If Red Snake holds onto the AWP, at least they have something to play with, but that's going to be the best bet.
EnVyUs already getting to 7. Red Snake will be saving this one, but the problem is right now, you're 7-0 down on the CT side. They're going to be going for the quasi-buy, but the problem is the way that EnVyUs style their play is they play very slow. They're going to be Molotoving out these positions, right?
Yeah.
We see how close-netted and their spacing as well. They're so close together. Even though MCK found that one deagle frag, Hadji was right behind VKL just to trade it instantly. And they're playing very, very methodically, but they're doing it very, very smart as well. The team play is so strong for such a fresh lineup.
And that's the thing as well, right, with EnVyUs Academy right now. Bringing up Hadji. 11-1. The first round he's actually perished in. And the thing is, his entries have been unreal, incredibly crisp. Some of the frags he's been pulling off are just ridiculous.
They are indeed. So, if you're Infused right now, I mean, this is a hard call to make. You've lost that B-bomb site. You've lost the A site multiple times. I mean, bring out an AWP into play. I mean, what would I do? I'm just trying to think right now. I mean, they're smoking off A long, so you can't really have too much of an impact there. You can't really go for the early aggression because they're holding the default. Maybe try and play an aggressive angle towards A long. Towards wood, we see Alu, Device holding that angle where there's that pixel gap towards A long. That could be a way to finally get an entry frag because the flashes are coming in, the execute's happening. But if you're in front of those flashbangs, you wouldn't get blind. You might be able to find a way to get some frags for the Infused side.
You can see here actually as well, Infused going to go for that tactical timeout, break things down, as you said. They need to try and adjust. Obviously, they have to cash to play with once again. They can invest into this round. They've got the AWP out. They're in a good situation in terms of actual team structure and what they have to play with, but how do they play this?
I mean, the thing as well to mention real quick is, how many other coaches are this passionate?
Yeah.
You can see the passion in his voice, like, come on, lads. We're down 7. We're the underdogs here. Exactly, right? I mean, it's so good to try and pump up the younger players, your Trials, your Eccles, trying to get them feeling riled up and see if they can play with that aggression and that confidence that they're going to be needing.
And we saw those tempo plays actually do work. Mick definitely should have had that opening frag into that prior round.
Sure.
When he went for that tempo play, it caught them off guard. They weren't ready for it. EnVyUs feel like right now they've got Infused trapped in a box. They don't want to overextend. They're just stuck in there. But if they can try and break out the box, try and do a little bit more damage, it could be good.
So, AWP in Red Snake's hand again. Wow, it's going to be another buy actually coming out.
Full investment.
So, didn't actually anticipate the money. The fact that Red Snake saved the AWP, you can see that's a drop gun there to Eccles, allowing them to have full utility. Jax with the M4. Apart from that, it's 4 AKs on the T side right now. Currently 7-0 in the lead. All 5 players right now for the T side heading all towards this B site. The AWP is here, so for Red Snake, he needs to land this first kill.
This is going to be so vital. Red Snake can be a little bit of a monster at times if he gets the energy behind him, and we need to see that. It has to come through individually. Can he perform right now? Season going out, Red Snake gets the opener as he strikes with such prowess, hungry for more, but it's Aaron and Trials doing the damage as they tear their way through everyone's heads that dare to defy them as they want to enter the site, and it's all left on Lambert.
Not like
He's
this.
popping heads though, firing back, takes down Aaron, and look how low some of these players are as well. Trials and Red Snake are essentially at half-life at this point. They're almost dead. They could be removed in a matter of seconds. Lambert just tiptoeing around as well, trying to play the mind games.
Infused will have $1,400 win bonus right now. Every single frag that Lambert can find here is so crucial. If he finds the kill onto Red Snake, doesn't allow the AWP to be saved. Trials on 1 HP. He has 2 frags already into the round. Might need the 3rd, though, if they're going to take this one.
Red Snake slowly edging out, but he has the angle cover. The headshot comes out as he shuts down Red Snake. It's only going to take one more frag to really put their economy into dismay as he finds it. Trials gets eliminated, and it's all on Eccles. The young man himself, he tries to take the fight, and Eccles pulls it out of the bag. So close, yet so far for EnVyUs, but luckily enough, Infused get the energy they need.
Only one player staying alive, though. $3,500 is all they're going to have for the Infused side. I mean, what? SMG, full utility. They've been struggling on the full buy rounds, let alone the fact that they're going to be on SMGs. Oh, look at this buy. No AWP. We saw the impact Red Snake had with that one. Trials had the 2K in the previous round, the 2 fundamental frags now put onto the SMG. MCK as well. It's so strong with a rifle, put down onto that SMG.
Actually go for the AWP on the T side of EnVyUs as well, getting that over on Lambert. This is going to affect their playstyle. They can try and go for those more aggressive picks now if they want to.
Potentially. Lambert, the IGL, and AWP currently taking that AWP towards A long. I did say, if if you have the open hand, taking control of the map could be a lot easier.
Yeah.
So smoke comes off towards A long again. You can see already Echoes just fleeting away. Doesn't want none of that. Trials gets flashed in, but no one's blind. That's going to be the first frag, already going in favor of Team EnVyUs. And this time, Trials was on 1 HP last time, but this time it's Jax on 3. Lot going in Team EnVyUs' favor this time.
Yeah, they are low, and it seems like they are resituating over towards that B bomb site. They want to try and push their way out. It depends on positional play here. If Infused can actually find these frags, Aaron does damage as well. Aaron getting that opening kill back on towards Ajay puts them in a pretty good position. Look at the health for Jack still. He's very low. They're sure left in a 4 versus 4 that does favor the T's, but as soon as another player falls, this is going to be easy to start to clean up, but it depends on Petty Skull. He's in a good position, playing around the smoke. He is just going to try and back his way out. Play this smart.
See Echoes so close towards mid as well. He's going to be peeking out towards mid, pushing A. They know exactly what's happening right now. Mick only gets 1 though.
He's going to find the first frag, flashbang over, because they still have that utility to play with. Pops, they need to try and peek and do damage, and they will find the kill back on towards Red Snake. The Famous reigns supreme, though. Aaron, if he would have been able to flick back, Jack's only on 3 HP, could have locked it down, but it wasn't meant to be. And the money reset as well coming into effect now.
Here we go. Infused now on $1,400, forced to use all of it. So 1.5k, 1.4k as well on Trials and Red Snake, 1,700 on Aaron. I mean, do you go for the double eco, allow EnVyUs to get to 10, play for that 11-4, 10-5 scoreline, try and win that T-pistol, and roll them on your T side. Try and break the bank like they've just done to you. It's a hard call to make, but Echoes there, Kevlar PT50. Apart from that, it's going to be the full eco on the CT side. Again, another slow default from Team EnVyUs, and this slow default style's really been exploiting the mix, the unprepared potentially style that Infused have right now. Picking apart each player round by round, second by second. One thing that is positive though from EnVyUs, sorry, from Infused, the fact that they are flashing for each other. They're taking control of the map together. Jax though pushed in, and actually Eccles is behind him.
This could be very cheeky. Eccles plays it smart, says Peekaboo as he finds a frag, takes him down, upgrades to the Kalashnikov as well.
Does indeed, but has the armor actually, so potentially could be something absolutely audacious. Mick though, so good with the deagle towards.
Mighty Mick in these situations, you can be absolutely dastardly with a weapon as they are going to try and push straight into him. Can he shut him down? Unfortunately not today. He will get eliminated. Red Snake also going to get removed as they're all just getting absolutely obliterated on these entries. But Eccles with a scavenged AK goes huge. A massive 2K to open the round. Trials in the backline as well. Trying to do some damage with the USB. Actually shuts down Lambert, leaving it all on Hajay. The mountain's been playing out of his mind. An artist with the AK. If he can find these frags here and pick this up for EnVyUs, it would be ludicrous. Goes for the pre-fire, but they're able to get out of there. Somehow doesn't pick up the frag.
Trials right now has to maybe regroup with Aaron. Go back towards B-plat, go down drop. Try and play together, try and trade each other. If Aaron can give the AK over to Trials and then go in first and try and trade that frag, they have a chance. But the problem is, Trials is too scared to even make the noise right now, let alone go for that kill. 9 seconds left though, they're going to be forcing this one.
They're going to try and play together. I mean, they have to peek at the same time. Essentially, they get an early tag onto him. He's going to try to peek with the AK. As long as they don't give him those 1v1 opportunities, surely they should be able to come out on top in this. But he pops ahead of Aaron, and he knows that the last man's low. It's going to be Trials. Attempts to push in, but you cannot beat Hajay. A heroic play comes out from him.
Huge round there from Eccles. The 3K, though, not quite enough to solidify that one. I believe that's 9 now for EnVyUs. Yep. 9 rounds for them. The dream nearly happening there. 9-1 down on your CT side. They're going for another eco, so double digits already after round 11, Jack.
Yeah.
For the Team EnVyUs side. No AWP on Lambert just yet. Could be the 5 AKs. Then again, don't really need the AWP versus these pistols and Kevlar. MCK once again on the Deagle. The problem is you buy that $700 Deagle, Desert Eagle. You're not finding really any frags, any success with it. I mean, why not just buy the P250, right? Have yourself an extra smoke, an extra flashbang. You could really be more impactful into the buy rounds. Such a slim chance you win these ecos.
It really is an awkward situation to be in. Obviously going to go for their fairly standard hold as well towards mid. Try and go for the sneaky play. They go for the pre-fire, and it doesn't really work out in their favor, but Eccles had the drop on him. Nice nade rolls in from Red Snake as well, so they did find a couple of frags, but it's still not that fantastic. Petty Scale left on 44 HP as they attempt to make their approach towards the A bomb site. The last 2 remaining CTs are there, but they're getting picked off fairly quickly. Red Snake hits the deck. And unfortunately, it falls on towards Mick. He has the Deagle in hand, but they seem aware of his position. He needs to really bringing that raw aim potential to play. Has to try and do some damage here. Goes for the pot shots, but he can't quite connect him. Nice tag goes out. Actually, 2 tags, but no frag just yet. Still, just trying to play with time. He's tagging everyone. He's landing these shots. It just depends if he can actually still try and keep this going. The aggression is there. The headshot comes out as he's trying to do the damage, but it is not meant to be. Mick, such an awkward situation to be in.
So close there. I mean, if you found that headshot onto that player on A side, player towards Wood was only, what, 20, 15 HP, so 1 body shot from the Deagle. That could have been a miraculous round there for Infused. So, 10-1, 9 rounds in the lead now for Team EnVyUs Academy. Let's take a look. Eccles leading the charge there, 10-8, and apart from that, I mean, Red Snake, Aaron on 4 kills. I mean, this isn't what you want to be seeing if you are the EnVyUs fan. Typically, we see Aaron, MCK dropping 30 bombs, 25 kills, really carrying this Team Infused side. But right now, when the team needs them, going quiet. No AWP on the T side, though. Once again, the 5 AK setup. No one going towards A long as well. It's only 2 players here. Aaron and Red Snake to hold off this B side attack.
Will the positional play help the CTs? The hatching somehow through the slip as well. He's blind, fights with the blindness, takes down Red Snake. That's ridiculous. This man's absolutely ludicrous.
Already the 2-man advantage right now for Team EnVyUs. Bomb will be planted. I mean, you can't even go for this. 11-1. They're forced to save. How many rounds have they lost in a row? Is it 2, 3 now? It must be close to that. So they're only going to get what? Yeah, so look. They've lost 4 in a row now, which means they will have 3,400. You can drop over 3 guns, so they will be able to buy up into the next one. 11-1. They can try playing for that 11-4 scoreline, but that would mean winning 3 on the trot. And to be honest with you, Jack, considering they've been playing so far, I don't even know if we're going to be seeing a second round for them.
But the thing is, even when they have these rifles in their arsenal, Haji's just walking into the sites and headbutting people, knocking them over, and then just stepping on them. He doesn't give a damn.
Outrageous scenes here.
Just go straight for the shins. It's not fair.
Exactly that. Where's your shin guard, Eccles?
He needs to get him on. You need to defend against Haji.
So, well, give me up to buy up into this one for the Infused side, but what can you really do against that? I mean, Haji there, half blind, jumping, 360 headshots that player towards platform. Anyway, enough of that. Aaron going to be on the SMG for the CT side. Red Snake on the FAMAS. 3 M4s. No AWP. The AWP didn't really have much of an impact anyway. And again, for the Team EnVyUs side, they don't even need to bring up the AWP. They're sticking to the 5 AK setup. Easy enough for them.
Once again, it's going to be the man himself. Heroic Haji trying to make some big plays. They push their way through. Aaron in a nice position. Going to play anti-flash, and this time he has to drop on him. We'll find 1 kill, but of course, it's him once again. Haji just going huge as he tears his way through the bomb site. He does not give a damn what setups you have. He will take you down with absolute ease. Eccles coming up the rear, though, hoping to at least do some damage as he just fires off these pot shots, but Lambert has him blocked off, and the smokes go down and zone him out.
Once again, it's down to Eccles to really be the playmaker here. Trials as well, pointed off towards drop. Forced retreat through the smoke. Eccles finds 1. Trying to see if he can get the second though, but Jax gets the fast refrag there.
He's left on trials. A man with a lot to do, but not much time to do it. And unfortunately, he's not got a head either, so it's going to make the task a lot harder.
Will indeed. So another buy round going in favor of EnVyUs. I mean, it's gone to the point now where I'm trying to say Infused, but I'm saying EnVyUs anyway because that's what that's really been coming up to show.
Oh yeah, this is the Haji show.
Oh, exactly that. I mean, you mentioned it there, right? What setups they had, right? What setups do they have? How are they able to find multiple frags, non-traded, of course? They get 1 kill, or sorry, Aaron will get 1 frag, he'll be traded out, but Red Snake isn't in a position to try and find the kill that Aaron should maybe be getting. What is this? Trials just flashing out towards long and gives away his frag already. Oh. This is so desperate now already from the side of Infused. They're 12-1 down. Try my best not harp on them, but you can see the desperation plays coming out from the CT side as they are 12-1 down, but EnVyUs, they're playing that slow style. They want you to peek them.
You can see they're playing into their hands now. They've always been playing that slow style of CS. Infused are aware of that, but it seems like now the anger's starting to shine through, get a bit frustrated. They're going for those more aggro plays that they know shouldn't really work, but they're still running the risk anyway, and that's their downfall into this one. Red Snake is in the rear, might be able to pull something a little bit. Red Snake, more like Dead Snake, because somehow Jax just flicks round, 360, brushes it off like nothing.
Oh, look at... Oh, Neil.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That just kind of sums up the entire game in 1 round.
And this is on LAN as well, this isn't online. God, I mean, Neil's face really does paint the picture of the CT side here from Infused.
That was filthy.
It was disgusting, wasn't it, Jack?
I think we need some help on stage after that one, because that's just absolutely vile that he's been able to get away with that frag.
Clean up.
Look at this. There was like hardly any audio cues as well. He's just gone to clear behind, instant flick, headshot, takes Red Snake down.
There we go. The AWP finally coming into play. Obviously, Lambert saying, you know what, lads, we've had enough. Let's just keep this one nice and simple. Gonna be going for that B rush already. Gonna be going for the broken wall pick, see if he can find a frag, but it's gonna be MCK there towards Plat. Shoots towards the smoke, doesn't quite connect anything just yet. So, 5 UMPs. I mean, this would have been a good buy, what, 2 months ago before the nerf came in?
Yeah.
It's now 8 bullets to kill someone at mid-range. You're seeing a lot of 70 and 6s, 80 and 5s with the UMP now. This buy just isn't up to par versus the utility, the firepower on this Infused, sorry, again, this terrorist side. It's just a one-sided affair, isn't it? That's
It's so unfortunate as well, because Cobblestone, all the stars are aligned. It looks good. Eccles performing very well.
It's Infused pick as well.
Yeah, that's what worries you when you get into this sort of scenario. Eccles, no, the man we harped on.
If they've picked this map and they're this unprepared,
yeah,
and this uncohesive, I mean, what's going to happen onto the next one?
Inferno, of course, going to be that second pick. I think it's Inferno.
No, I don't think it is Inferno.
We'll find out.
We'll find out very, very shortly. Very, very shortly, it does seem that way anyway. So, 13-1 already. Let's see if they can make it 14-1 and try to close this one out nice and fast, trying to keep us on schedule.
Of course, trying to claw it back. Eccles can do a little bit of damage though as he does shuts down Jax as he had Jay. Of course, goes to the edge, but this time around, Red Snake rises up for the UK scene, shuts him down, but VKL will respond very quickly. Eliminates Mick, everyone starts to fall. It's Aaron and Trials doing the good work. Eccles actually comes in for the final frag, and they get another round on the board.
Finally, that second round. What, 4-1 to 13-1?
Yeah.
So 13-2. Eccles there, not looking too happy after his recent performance. To be fair though, he has been playing his heart out.
Yeah, he's been
first time on stage, first time with his team, showing himself, trying to prove himself, right? And playing with confidence. Let's just say he's definitely the reason that they are struggling right now.
I think in general, it just sort of, it's the structure. There's just nothing working for them. It's not even necessarily bad teamwork. You can just see the entries that are getting pulled out by EnVyUs are outrageous.
Do you know what? I think EnVyUs Academy is probably the worst team that Infused could play on this first week.
Yeah.
Right? Their play style just exposes all the nooks and crannies and the weaknesses that is in the defense of Infused. The fact that they are the new lineup, right? They are coming into this unprepared.
The stark contrast, as you're saying, between both of these teams in differences is just ridiculous.
It is.
It's a lot more structured versus a lot more versatile, and yeah.
I mean, if we take another European lineup that's here for the Elite Series, Prophecy, right? They play more of that puggy, loose style.
Oh, yeah.
We should have been, you know, Infused versus Prophecy, that could be a European matchup where potentially Infused could make the upset there, but versus such a structured team, there's just not a chance here for them.
It's just so hard right now for them to really be able to do anything.
I mean, what positives can you draw from Infused right now, right? Eccles, 13-10, at least he's positive right now for the old HOTV rating, so. But yeah, Hadji, 20-7, 20 frags on that first half. If this was a closer matchup, you know, you're lining yourself up for that 40-1 potentially if it goes to 30 rounds, but I don't even know if it's going to reach 18.
Yeah, he is unreal right now. So crisp in some of the frags he's been able to pick up. Absolutely ridiculous. And especially on the CT side where they're pushing into him, I am scared for Infused.
Ludicrous scenes. Good read here from EnVyUs side. They spot no one towards mid though. This might cause a rotation from their CT side, but hopefully not. Hopefully they sit nice and tight. So, going to be 3 players waiting outside A long. The old VP strat. You'd wait for someone to push A long, and then from there you try and shoot them in the side of the head, but EnVyUs, they don't overextend. They're playing this one nice and slow once again, but look, Lambert running, going to be walking to the crosshair of 3.
He walks out, but he gets the opening headshot and gets away. There's no trade. Even if they react fast enough as they are trying to sprint behind, he's able to get back into a very effective position. If they peek into him, he has the advantage now. Falls all the way back towards site, and they've already lost a member. Losing Mick that early on as well, someone that can be absolutely insane with the pistols, that's not a good start.
Petisco leaving drop as well. Should be exposed. I mean, Eccles and Red Snake, they're not budging from drop. CTs have seen bomb. They know exactly what's going on. They knew they wanted to go for that fast A play. As soon as they got spotted, there's no reply or no shift or movement from the rest of the players across the map. Instead, they stay still. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, as soon as that happened, you saw the drop player left instantly. Reforming, though, towards drop. Smoke off towards window. They're going to be going towards electric. They're trying to burst towards B. I like this play.
Petisco, though, he's in position. The flashbang does blind him, stuns him long enough. They can actually attempt to overwhelm him. They do it. A lot of frags go in the way of Infused, but all of a sudden it starts to come back in EnVyUs' favor as Lambert goes massive with that double kill. A hat trick across the board as they're attempting to retake this site. They have a good advantage.
They do indeed. Key onto Jax as well. Red Snake has no armor into this afterplant. Trials now darting around Statue, trying to see if he can find that frag and make it to the 2 versus 2.
Very awkward round to attempt to hold back, but Red Snake pops the head. Trials goes big as well. It's all left on Hadjay, the one-man army of Team EnVyUs. Is he going to be able to pull it out all on his lonesome as he's just roaming around the site, hoping they're going to peek into him, but they're playing it smart. No reason to overface and get picked off by this absolute madman. He's trying to force them to peek into his crosshairs. He gets to the back line, but Red Snake will snap his neck clean off.
Can hear Neil there, rallying the troops, trying to get them fired up and pumped, saying we can still do this, right? You've won the pistol round. Don't lose versus the force by the eco. Try and make it 5-13. At that point, try and win that first bar and try and break the economy just as they did to you. And that way, try and claw back. I mean, wow, actually, 3-13, coming back into the live action. It really does hit you how far behind Infused really are.
Yeah. Very far behind. There is always the potential, but the thing is, this fast play, aggressive stuff towards the A-bomb site. I don't know if this is going to be a little bit awkward. These CZs in close range are going to be deadly. Petyscale actually goes for old Big Pucker Pop as well. 5 players blind now towards mid. It's going to be MCK and Coke towards this middle vicinity, trying to take control of the A-side, but they can't even jump over mid. Jax finds the frag on towards Eccles and Mick Force as well. These pistols proving too strong in these positions, just dug in, holding their angles. Everyone in the Infused is getting absolutely obliterated. They can't trade efficiently. Nothing's going right. The Deagle just reigns supreme for Lambert. And Infused lose another round. EnVyUs just lock it down. It just looked messy.
What on earth was that? What you're supposed to do there, take control of mid.
Yeah.
Smoke connector, molly off towards mini, flash over and go as a unit. You do your nades first and then you push. Instead, all of the players just staying together. They weren't really going over that mid wall. If they're trying to do it, they couldn't even make the jump. So all it took was that one flashbang towards mid. And as soon as chaos happened, Infused look lost. And like vultures, they picked them off one by one.
They got spread thin. They couldn't work with their teammates. It was just awkward. It seemed really messy. Not really what you need in that environment.
I mean, I've made the same mistake as well. I mean, I remember playing at Copenhagen Games, and we did the exact same there. I had Max by my side saying, we need to use the nades, and then you push up. You can't do both simultaneously. It gets too messy. Some players have nades out, while other players are pushing. And at that point, there's no trades, and that's exactly what happened.
You just can't effectively trade in that scenario when everyone's caught with their pants down. And it wasn't good. It was a very awkward situation to be in. This time around, Infused is going to go for a bit more of a contact-style play, burst through the smoke, use the utility they have, and try and overwhelm the CTs. But EnVyUs, with players like Jax in positions like these, with these UMPs, it's going to be a very awkward round, to say the least.
Will indeed, but flash comes in. Jax now trying to see if he can find a frag, but it's going to be Trials instead.
Trials kicks it off, but it is all going to the boys in blue at this point as Petyscale, Hadjay, Petyscale again, and Lambert come into effect, just ripping their way through everyone. It is Aaron as the last man standing, but he is now laying down in the dirt nap.
Already 18 rounds in, match point for EnVyUs. First map of this best of 2. And this is Infused pick as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you really do right now if you're Infused? You have to be thinking about the next map. I mean, you can use this time to try and prep yourselves for the next map, thinking, okay, lads, it's fine. We're just trying to get our feet wet into this, trying to get some experience, trying to get the land jitters out of the way. I mean, that's what Excel said after the match, right? I remember speaking to Jacob, he said, first game, land jitters, next game, we played like we do online.
And that's the thing, there's always that potential. Infused, they seem fairly happy with the way the veto went, so you would have think that they're going to look good as the things get into the later stages. They are going to go for their fast, aggressive play, though. Eccles with the Tech 9. This could be a really good power play if they do actually get the range onto VKL, though, but they need to catch him off.
They do indeed. Take control of A-Long. They're going to leave Eccles there alone. Has 2 flashbangs, so if they do go back towards mid, he can flash mid for them, and then once they're up mid, he can flash onto site, so he can do the double whammy of utility, but interested to see if that does come into fruition. Nade comes in. Execute does happen.
Pushing their way through. Let's see if it's going to be as messy and confused as last time as they push their way out. They actually play it a lot better. The trades are there, and it's looking absolutely fantastic for Team Infused right now. They rip their way through. They ascend themselves to the bomb site. Petyscale comes into effect, but luckily enough, they are able to dig him down, and it falls on Jax. He's in a prime 9 position. He is finding headshots. They're peeking into him. They just need to stay alive in this scenario. They've got the bomb down. Aaron's on 6 HP. They can't afford to go for these 1v1 faces, but Aaron peeks up. There's a little bit of damage, and Aaron does one better as well as he peeks up and bites him down.
MCK there, potentially facing for no reason, right? He made it winnable there. Yeah. As soon as he dialed onto site, Aaron on 6 HP, if he landed that headshot there, that 1 versus Trials, he knew exactly where he was, right? Stuck on site, but anyway, still match pointed for EnVyUs as we do go into the 20th round. Still, they win the round, but as I mentioned before, players dying unnecessarily means that they only have 2 UMPs, 3 AKs. Strong utility, though. And on the side of Team EnVyUs, once again, it's down to the pistols. We've already seen a very weak anti-eco coming out from Team Infused. EnVyUs, though, stacking more heavily towards that B bomb site, leaving Lambert alone towards A.
Things as well, obviously, EnVyUs at this point. Only Deagles to play with, so Infused do have the favour. But even if they win this round, they're going to need 11 more to get into OT. Mick will find the opening frag, though. Lambert pushes in, but unfortunately couldn't do anything off the back of the contact Deagle. Mick will overpower him, and now they just flood their way on towards the site, trying to find that welcome out to rub their dirty feet all over.
Red Snake in front of that kill towards mid. 5 versus 3. Not really too much to read into this one. Echoes from behind should be able to stack up some cash here. That's 600, that's 1.2k, and potentially 1,800. No. Unfortunately for him, Jax will take him down.
It's just Jax left, though. 21 HP on the man. Even if they don't lose another weapon, and they just get through this with this to play with, they're going to be pretty happy. I mean, a nice swift round, get the confidence going, because it doesn't matter how bad these rounds go. Because even if they lose one, it's over.
Thing is, right now for Infused, yes, the chance of you winning this is probably what? 5 out of 95, 5% chance, but
yeah,
the fact that they're playing rounds on stage is important for confidence leading into the next map.
You need to get as much confidence and get as much out of this matchup as you physically can. Work on individual strengths, get yourselves riled up again, get that energy flowing. If you come out of this with a better scoreline than you were going to have, everyone's going to be a little bit happier in terms of morale.
Yeah, it does help, especially with players like Trials and Eccles who haven't played on stage before, and there he is, Adam Eccles in red, representing the Infused colours. So, 15 to 6 is, I believe, now. Lambert there in the middle there, cooling, probably saying some riveting stuff.
Absolutely exhilarating things occurring.
I mean, they've bought 2 shotguns. They bought into this one, of course. What's he trying to call here? Going to be leaving Lambert alone with a shotgun towards A. Put it go towards A long. We saw what happened. Infused went for that A long take. Unluckily for Lambert, shotgun might not even come into play as we see all of the Infused side heading towards the B-bomb site.
The thing is, these weapons in close angles, if they're playing anti-flash and Infused don't clear them, this could be so deadly as they are very effective up close and personal. Hatchy as well. You give him an inch and he'll take a mile as the man goes huge. That's a 4K. Hungry for the ace. And of course, Ajay will find it. Heroic play to lock it down. Single-handedly, he tears it up.
That round there really painting the picture of the whole map. Hadji there, the ace, played phenomenally.
Wow.
Throughout that whole map. He must be, what, 30 kills or something crazy in just, what, 20 rounds? So, insane impact. Over 1 frag per round for him. Star performance on the first map.
The thing is, none of them were really stat padding either. They were all high-octane impact frags. The amount of entries he had towards that B-bomb site is ludicrous.
If your entry fragger on that T side has 20 kills in 1 half,
yeah,
must be near impossible to lose that.
You can't imagine the sweat dripping off him. Because the flicks he
the
would
carry as well, right? The weight on his shoulders. I mean, you don't really have to carry when you are, what, 15 to 3 up. So,
yeah,
very strong performance. Surprisingly, how structured they play, considering we haven't really seen too much of them internationally yet. Only been playing a few officials, but apart from that, they're looking good here.
That's the thing, though. Behind the scenes, obviously, they've been doing a lot in terms of practice. They've been trying to better themselves, and they're looking pretty good. Although this is obviously going up against Team Infused in the first matchup. Infused looking like potentially they should be coming in a bit stronger in Game 2. But it's still interesting to see how that did unfold. But those are just our thoughts. Let me find out what, of course, the big man himself, good old D, on the stage thinks.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Thank you, Snods. Give them an inch.
Nice.
They'll take a mile. I love that phrase. Listen, it is EnVyUs versus Infused. EnVyUs, the boys in blues, take the lead. Straight after the break, we will be having our post-match analysis of Match 1.
We're still waiting for our bill.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute.
Excuse me. This coffee is really cold.
I'll get you another one.
Round 1. Fight! Sorry.
listen to that audience, lovely, lovely audience. And for everyone who is watching, wherever you may be, welcome back to the Elite Series. We just saw a kind of a one-sided match. I think that's the most polite way to say it. Would you not say?
It was.
Yes.
My greatest condolences to Team Infused, but
hey, they brought it back. The last couple of sort of games, they were beginning to win again, which, as Snods and Jackie, our casters, had alluded to, that can give them confidence going into this next map.
you'd hope so.
They need some sort of confidence.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was signs that they can kind of fight back. There were a lot of rounds that they shouldn't have lost. There's, like, Haji was going insane. I don't think that if, you know, Lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, I don't think Haji can do the same as what he just did. Like,
I mean, he was
incredible.
It really was incredible. I mean, well, I think we've got some replays coming up in just a second that you'll be able to see wherever you are. Haji was fantastic. We'll talk through that. I mean, what can Team Infused do? Was it bad team play? Was it bad anything? Or was it just they were overrun by a better side?
I think at the end of the day, it was a mixture of a couple of stuff. But when you've got an opposition player popping heads, playing as well as Haji was, the funny thing was that the final round of the half was Haji getting an ace, which for me pretty much summed up that entire map.
And just to explain, and for me, what's the ace? What is that ace?
When you kill all the enemy team.
That is the ace. That is what the ideal. You're, you know, indispensable as a team player at that point, aren't you? So what were they basically doing on this map? How were they controlling it?
I don't think Infused were controlling it, to be honest.
No, I mean, EnVyUs, how were they controlling the map?
There wasn't much of a fight to control anything, really.
Yeah.
So I remember I mentioned the B-part control, which you can see here. They kept on getting B-part control. There was no contest towards it at all. They would jump off and there would just be no trades from the CT side at all. That can't happen. Like, that really can't happen.
Yeah, when you look at individual positions in terms of how particularly Team Infused were setting up on the CT side, or what they were trying to do when they were terrorists, they weren't really doing too much fundamentally wrong. It was just when it came to them individual trades, when you'd spot an enemy, particularly as a CT or a terrorist side, they just weren't getting the trade like their opponents were doing. And, you know, that could be what we mentioned earlier on, the fact that these guys, in a way, they're not as much of a drilled lineup. They haven't been playing together. They've got to stand in because of course, the player with the...
Fry.
Exactly, with the injured wrist. And, you know, that all showed in the end.
Yeah, I mean, even Haji, we just saw the replay, wherever you saw it as well. He even dropped his gun, picked up another one, then completed that ace. What can we expect from Inferno then for this map? What can Infused do? Maybe you can shout it to them so they can hear. What can they do?
It's a much easier map to slow down the pace. For example, like, you've got mid, you can smoke it off right at the start. That gives you 15 seconds. You can keep doing that for a good 30, 40 seconds. It's the same on the other side. It's quite a close, you know, narrow area. Just smoke it off. You can kind of relax a bit.
Yeah.
Cobble doesn't really let you do so much like that. Okay. So they can slow down the pace, kind of try and play their own game, I guess, not be forced to try and adapt to this quick play style.
Well, let's hope that they heard you, SEO. We'll pass back to the casters, Jackie and Snods, who are going to take you through match 2 in Inferno.
God, it's just a shame I've not got Tom over here. I'd love to get closer.
Oi, oi.
Anyway, mate, there's space.
Anyway, second map here, Inferno. First one being so one-sided in favour of EnVyUs Academy.
Yeah.
Inferno, though, as you did point out on the desk, does tend towards or lean towards that slower style, but then again, obviously the fast players can come into fruition.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, in terms of tempo, it's going to be a lot slower. It just depends who this favours, really. EnVyUs, they love that slow pace style. They thrive in it and absolutely excel, whereas Team Infused, slower rounds didn't really play much to their strengths. We've never really seen that. It's always just that default they work around into split and pick style CS, and Inferno is a map that they will feel comfortable on.
Yep.
But it just depends if they can excel.
I feel like Inferno, though, is very similar to Cobblestone in terms of, on your CT side, there's so many places where the Ts can get control of the map, and you can go for that counter CT aggression, right? We saw Eccles generally pushing towards mid, pushing towards A long, finding so much information, and also getting so many flanks on EnVyUs. The problem was, though, by the time he would get to the site, everyone was already dead. Yeah, it's really awkward. That's the other thing. I mean, there was a lot of rounds that we sort of touched on, obviously, in that previous map that were thrown. I mean, you look at the pistol, we were talking about it before. The fact that all of a sudden they were in the driving seat. They had it locked down, and then it all went wrong. I mean, how many rounds as well towards B, where it was a 4 versus 3, a 5 versus 4 in favor of Team Infused, and then suddenly 3 players were dead on their side. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. The lack of trades from Team Infused. It was so many quick rounds as well, where they were very dominant, and then you lose 3 players in a matter of 2 seconds. Just frags that were untradeable as well, because Infused were caught off in confusing, awkward situations that you don't expect them to be in. Communication just looked a tad off in some plays. It did, so. New map, though. New start. Fresh start for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really go much worse than 16-5 and a 15-3 scoreline. So for Infused, anything here is going to be better. I mean, even if they win the pistol round, that's them themselves doing better than the previous map. So are going live into the pistol. Better skill once again on the kit and double flash. We're seeing two sets of utility, Trials, Smoke, Flash, HE. They might be going for, oh, actually, this might be going live, but I imagine they're going to mirror the same bias. Let's talk about that real quick. Utility on Trials and Red Snake, the fact they have HEs instead of buying a P250 or an extra flashbang means I expect them to go for that nade towards Fan or Car. Used to be Car on the on Inferno, so nade towards Car, try and find that first kill towards B and then rush B off of that. Have the smoke for CT, have the smoke for coils, then try and take that site and play the retake, the afterplant.
That's the thing, that nade push as well. It's not a common buy really anymore. It's more of an aggressive sort of play, right? So
I mean, it's not too often you see HE nades on terrorist side pistols. I mean, the only other time I've really seen it is A site Mirage, where you nade towards CT if you're going towards A. But yeah, could work. I do like the play though. They're trying to get smart here and avoid those aim tools that they were losing on the previous map.
that's the thing as well. Potentially, if we do see an early information play come out, or an aggressive stack towards top banana where they're going to go for a contact play on that CT side to try and overwhelm them if they go for a banana play, those nades are going to be really fabulous to just force them out of position, or at the very least, transfer a lot of splash damage onto those CTs.
Two smokes as well, so if they do get towards that B side, they can smoke off CT, 15 seconds, another smoke, another 15 seconds. So potentially holding off that retake for 30 seconds, and then if they don't buy the kit, well, I believe Peta still has it, or did buy it up into that last false start, but still. We'll have the kit, but that leaves them with, what, 10 seconds to defuse. Then again, that's if everything goes perfect, which it definitely didn't on Cobblestone.
Yeah, it's just literally a matter of the unknown as well, because Infused, in terms of how they step up to this one, if they come into it with a fresh mindset, or even then, just play off the anger they've had from that previous matchup, really thrive.
I mean, we walked in, we could hear Red Snake there, Eccles as well, chuckling away, having a good laugh. I mean, if I'm the captain of this side or from Neil, I'm just going to say, look, lads, right? We're not going to win this playing proper CS and playing our best. Let's just enjoy the moment, play stress-free, and maybe that's where they find their star players really shining.
And you know what as well, that actually could catch EnVyUs off guard? A lot of their practice they've done, very standard, very strategic, CSGO style of playing, the new version of Inferno. Say if we see sort of more of a crazy sort of mixed style strategy whipped out, we're seeing early nade pushes from their CT half, from Infused, they're getting a little bit more aggressive, that could really catch them off guard. You're not used to seeing that anymore.
Exactly, and also, what if EnVyUs keeps the confidence they had on that previous map, and actually it comes back to haunt them? I mean, imagine, right, you're 15-3 up, you win 16-5, you think, oh, we're playing versus noobs, we can do whatever we want, don't even need to call, just rush at them, we'll kill them with angels. And maybe if they play that style at the start, lose the pistol, lose their first buy round with the overzealous play, maybe that could be a trap for them. And who knows, right? If Infused had that 5-0 lead, maybe that's all they need to, get back into this one.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. There's an awful lot of factors going into Inferno that make it quite exhilarating actually to see how that is going to go. I mean, obviously, with that as well, just in terms of their CT side, which is obviously, it's kind of unfortunate actually. I don't know, we might see potentially something coming out of Infused. You start off T-side early, they're quite warm with the AKs. We saw everyone start to do a little bit more damage than they could trade efficiently on their T-side Cobblestone.
Yep.
Even though it is the harder side, and they could get absolutely rinsed here early. You've got the potential of them actually getting a couple of opening rounds on their T-side, warming themselves up individually, thrive off the opening picks they get. Players like Mick, they're going to get a hype off that, and you're going to see them roll in through.
That's the thing, though. Online, Mick's MCK's aim is absolutely out of this world, isn't it? I mean, easily considered the best pistol player. I mean, I can hear the players as well giving it, so... I'm not trying to say anything there. I'm just saying, if he steps up into this one, we know he's capable of such incredible things. Maybe if he's there to aid Eccles, we could be seeing potentially a 1-1 scoreline.
Yeah, and Eccles actually played really well as well. I mean, we've been looking at that. It seems like he was struggling a lot more in the online games we saw recently when he came into the team. It looked like he was a bit shaky, but he has been giving it so far. Really looking like he's got a lot of prowess behind him. Some smart decision-making as well. Not overextending for frags he's trying to go for. Nice amount of damage being transferred and smarter plays.
Has nothing to lose as well, right? You're playing with the stand and your best player, Fry1, is missing in action right now after damaging the bone between your hand and your wrist. Don't ask me how he did that, but anyway. Damages that, can't play, he's in a cast. And how will that affect him going forward? I mean, that's probably the most important joint for Counter-Strike, having your mouse hand connected to your wrist, and will it repair the same way? Will it always be 100%?
It probably is quite useful being able to move your hand.
Does help, doesn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, you've never really had that during your career. That's why you had to cast.
Exactly that, and that's why I'm making a good living. Anyway, we are going into the knife round, so this game will be starting shortly. And once it gets underway, I mean, we saw what happened. EnVyUs sorry, Infused won the initial knife round. They wanted to start on their CT side. And from there, we saw a 13-2 scoreline. So if they lose this knife round and they start on the side that isn't favored to them, who knows? Could it be worse? I mean, even if they win pistol, it's still better.
I mean, we actually saw Infused play Inferno quite recently in a different league where they went up against Reason.
Yep, I remember that one.
Yeah. And obviously, that wasn't a great result for them. Reason were actually able to overcome them, but they did have a different standing. That was Jesp from Team Endpoint. That was coming in.
What was crazy there as well was the fact that it was 14-15.
Yep.
It was a 1 versus 5 from Karmapang, who's going to be playing later tonight for Team Reason, but a 1 versus 5 at 15-14. It's a bit audacious in itself. But anyway, we are live into this one. We'll be the pistol round, and I mentioned before, what happens if Team Infused lose that knife round and start on the unfavored side? And here they are on their terrorist side, Inferno. Let's take a look. Petiscore once again with the kit double flashbang. On the flip side again, double HGs. Are they going to be chucking those towards Car? Yes, they are, but will it connect?
Oh, Hadje, of course, keeping the energy going from the previous round. Snoz, I'm going to warn you already. Don't get overwhelmed and pass out on me on this map, because this is absolutely ludicrous. Hadje is a one-man army, and he's keeping up that aggression.
He is indeed. I mean, we saw 20 kills in the first half of the previous map, and already a lightning strike straight towards the Dome of Trials will grant Team EnVyUs a one-man advantage. 1 minute 20 on the clock. The bomb is towards Apps, MCK, and Eccles. What can they really do here? One player there towards B, that will be Red Snake. Has nades though, so he can actually smoke towards CT, chuck a flashbang, try and cause a ruse and a fake, but I don't think EnVyUs are really going to be budging.
EnVyUs just need to play it smart. They've got the opening frag on the board. They just have to play for trades. And especially with the pistols they have, play off the back of close angles. You can potentially go for those snipes with these pistols as well. Hadje, he's still got the confidence as well, holding towards Banana. He could single-handedly dispatch another member, slow them down. Not only that, he then completely opens the map to be so much easier to win this one out. Oh, he will get punished though by Red Snake.
That's a big kill. You can see already Lambert is actually rotating there from Arch, so it's going to be 2 players alone on this A site versus the 3 of Infused. Charging up towards Arch now. See if he can hold it.
Oh, VKL has to rotate off as well because he didn't quite realize. Now finally got the information that it is going to be the attack towards the A bomb site. They're getting their feet treading. They're starting to dig in towards the site. The boots have been strapped up and they're ready to try and defend it. But the retake is coming. They're fast on their heels as they arrive. Can they actually get these openers, though? They need to try and do some damage. Playing close over by Boiler, and Red Snake keeps up the aggression. Finds another frag into the round, but unfortunately, Jax will do damage. Petty Scale comes into effect as well. But Mick, playing close by Quad, will dispatch of 1 man that's left and a 1 versus 1 here. Petty Scale has the bomb. He has the hit.
No.
He's gonna tap it, goes for the straight commit. Mick will peek into it, but there's not really time. Mick somehow is able to grab it, though, and they do it in the last second.
That must have been milliseconds away from being defused there. You can see Neil M shouting and screaming, trying to rally these players up, trying to fire them up. Enjoy this match. Enjoy playing on the stage. If you don't enjoy it, you're too stressed, you're too confined. It will mirror that once you start playing. Players will be playing scared. They're too scared to make a mistake and to get shouted at.
This is the thing. That's how they need to approach this. Just ad-lib it a little bit. Go a bit more free ball. Just take the aggression. Thrive off the back of that. And Neil especially as well in that coach role. He is the one that gets them pumped up. He needs to start bringing that energy. We need to see some of the fists getting raised.
Exactly that. Red Snake there. The IGL and captain of the Infused side. Mirroring that would be Lambert there, directly in front of your screens. The IGL and Orpa for the EnVyUs side. Speaking to Alex from LDLC, said that he's the fallen of the French scene.
Obviously a very quite important title to be donned upon you there.
Exactly that, but you can see how it does come into fruition, right? The slow, steady style of play.
That's the thing, very methodical, very slow, clean and clinical. The way they approach things as well, smart communication. You can see calling for flashes, a lot of stuff that we see very limited in sort of different tier UK teams. Whereas they have this completely done, all the base level stuff is out of the way. You can see they actually have quite a lot of depth with their strat book as well.
I mean, this is probably a question I'm going to throw to you instead. You see these players like Lambert and all these IGLs that come out of these foreign scenes, right? Think about how many great IGLs there are in Denmark. I mean, God, off the top of my head, on the spot, I'm just trying to think. I mean, what? Glaive, Carrigan, Hunden and whatnot. MSL. I mean, look, that's 4 already. Top of the scene. And you look at the UK and you're thinking, who can really bring these up-and-coming players through, right? Rom, of course. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lack of potentially structure and good leadership there for these young stars to really flourish and learn and gain experience, because as soon as you join one of these teams, there's instant pressure, instantly judged. And from there, you just kick like that.
Well, that's what I think you see, obviously, with that. It breeds talent a lot better because those older players from different scenes, they're a lot more willing to sort of try and raise these players up, teach them those scenarios, whereas we've got an awful lot of talent that just wants to bring their A game. And there is always potential that we're going to see those super teams start to fall through, but right now it's just sort of seems like the structure and the breeding that talent, players like Haji that are just playing unreal, incredibly crisp. The guy's so smart, mechanically as well, just seems very, very sound in his own game.
Thing is, though, these Team EnVyUs players is the academy team, of course. You know, there's no Happy or Six or anything like that, but these players are not really the youngest. I believe all of them are above 20 years old, around that 22, 21-year-old age mark. So I don't want to say it's a bit of a shame, but imagine if you had a Haji when he was 17, 18. I mean, there's real potential. Obviously, there still is, but just imagine how good he could have, well, will be just a few years' time. But anyway, enough of that, enough of the filling, as we are able to finally get back into this Inferno match, into the second round. So, going to be the force spike coming out from the CT side. You can see 4 sets of armor. Haji, they're actually being dropped as CZ, which means he will be able to buy up that Kevlar and helmet. And versus that will be the 4 UMP buy and the 1 AK there from Mick. So 1-0 right now.
Yeah.
Infused, they can't let this one slip, but they do Cobblestone.
Obviously, let's see how they're going to play it. A lot of utility to play with. They need to just play it slow, really. Use that smart approach to have back confidence in these scenarios. Aaron's 6 shot comes through, though, as he dispatches a VKL. That could have been a little bit risky. If he got the opener on the board with the CZ, that's where it starts to go south. But Aaron, a lot of confidence on display. You can see just holding their angles. The Trials is there as well, so if it does go south, they can trade efficiently. And they've got a lot of information from this early.
They have indeed. Aaron there with the first frag, granting his team that 1-man lead, 1 minute left on the clock. Jackstope gets flushed in. Mick is blind, but luckily for him, that Eccles playing anti-flash. That's good teamwork. This is already far more promising, far better than what we saw on Cobblestone. Hopefully, though, it's not short-lived and they can carry this through onto the buy rounds and potentially get their footing into this best of 2.
Lambert playing from that position, close by Quad, trying to do a bit of damage, but unfortunately just gets his head knocked clean off by Aaron as they now approach control of the site. Haji is in position, though, over by Library. Unfortunately, Pettiscale is miles away. He just wants to save as he has the armor and kit. They walk straight into Haji. Even if he just saves this UMP, great play from him at the end of the round there.
Yep, does have Kevlar and helmet as well and a flashbang, so he can drop over that CZ to someone else. You can have the flashbang, I mean, you can have 2 pistols grouped towards B, you can flash them over towards Banana. That's potentially a way to try and find 1 or 2 kills. I mean, we've already seen that Mick was blind there. Imagine if you had an extra person there to try and get that kill onto Mick and then Eccles.
Nicely done. You can see EnVyUs as well. That's the difference maker. Rounds like this, they have smart positional play that's coming out. Another frag they get off the back of that as well. Even if they recover that weapon, it would be just ridiculous to see them getting out this round with 2 free guns just from finding these frags.
Still, though, the fact that they were versus the force buy of EnVyUs and having 3 alive, the bomb exploding means good for their economy. Only having to drop 2 rifles or 2 SMGs over. Adam Eccles there, you can see the concentration gleaming through his eyes. This is the first time he is on stage, so great opportunity for all these younger talents. Shiki from Vexed tweeted out, enjoy it, gain experience and learn from it. Don't take these up-and-coming, these first weeks too serious, to see how strong you can get towards the end of the Elite Series, where things really do come into fruition. So anyway, going to be the eco here from Team EnVyUs, only the Kevlar and helmet onto Haji, and Pettiscale as well, saving that Kevlar with the UMP.
A little bit of noise is going to be made. Trials, of course, in position here over by Bedroom. Trials is actually quite a key player into this round as well, off the back of this play. If he can find these opening frags, gain app control, it would be huge. But they are there in close proximity. They can trade for each other, and they have this crossfire set up, so it's quite risky.
Yep, should be fine, though. Eccles with the Mac 10 towards B, so he should be able just to run in, get the information there. If he dies, it's not the end of the world. You've only given away the Mac 10. It's not an AK like Aaron and MCK currently have, so not really too much you can do into the round with that. So Eccles now might get flashed in here, trying to see if there's a stack towards this B site, and initially there is. Pettiscale with the UMP towards, or boosted up onto the first oranges that might be able to catch some players off guard, and they're doing this nice crossfire there. This is the SK crossfire, right?
Yeah. This is so deadly. Oh, timing with Jax as he looks away. He goes back, trying to do a bit of damage with the Deagle, but unfortunately nothing matters. The smoke has gone down, but this is where this position comes into effect. Red Snake clears it, though. Smart players, they've been able to clear everyone out of the site. Jax can't get back in effectively. The smoke walls have zoned him out.
5 versus 3. It's going to be a fairly clean EK from Team Infused. Hopefully for them, they don't really have many people falling. And going to the afterlife here is they want to have as many people alive as possible. Keep their money afloat, keep their money strong in case they do lose this first bar and allow themselves to continuously buy up. Jax, though, let's get 1 kill. Agi here, not really too much good to the UMP, might as well go for it, but then again, CT side Inferno, the UMP fairly strong me towards apps, towards Arch, and caught those close range angles. You can really get some good effect at close range with it.
Yeah, you see those tight angles where they're going to charge into you. You have a little bit of the upper hand in that scenario. You can rip your way through. I mean, obviously, if they play it more as a scout round as well, it's not really that much risk.
Yeah, exactly that. So, first bar run out to the second map. Infused already getting more rounds than they did in the last map after winning the pistol. So far so good. If you are the boys in red Infused fan, MCK there, I mentioned before, the potential he has into a round. So, round 4. Let's see. Red Snake has 6.5k, but it's going to be carrying over that SMG. Reason being is if you win this round with the SMGs, your money is going to be absolutely outrageous. I mean, you can see he already got 6,000. If he wins this, that's 9,000 for him. MCK, the AK, going fast towards Banana.
Oh, Jax with the openers. This is ridiculous. A hat-trick comes out of nowhere. Absolutely flamboyant play. He never should have got away with. Petty skill with the backup of Lambert as well. You set it up for Infused to really go huge, but all it took was Jax to shut him down.
So why are there 3 players there for the EnVyUs side? Typically, when you put 3 players towards Banana, you're going to be smoking deep, molotoving towards old logs and molotoving towards close and taking control of Banana. Instead, though, they anticipate the play from Infused. They know they still have the SMG, so they're going to go for something fast. So Lambert there, making the good read, expecting a fast push towards B. That's why there's 3 players there. And you can see the bait setup they had. Jax, though, even if he only found 1 frag and got traded out, that player towards sandbags as well, that second player that was being baited for, would have easily been able to shoot them in the back and land 1 or 2 headshots.
Incredible stuff. It's just looking like out of nowhere. They've got too much firepower to handle. That was kind of what we saw in the first map as well. Even if you get around on the board, they're just going to bite back. EnVyUs, they're so quick at snapping into the scenarios. Just ridiculous frags as well. Kills that you don't really expect to be going in their favor at that point. A heavy rush like that, you walked into a stack, they tried to clear it efficiently. Even if they lost 1 man, you expect the trade to come in. Not for them to just get mowed down in that fashion.
Seeing Neil there, tired after the energy he's been using, trying to keep these players fired up. So far, Infused looking fairly decent. I mean, they won the pistol, so obviously you are expected to get the 2 rounds following that. So 3 rounds for them. First buy round going heavily in favor of Team EnVyUs, making it that 3-1 scoreline. And actually, even though they won those 3 rounds and they had the money fairly decent, 6,000 on Red Snake or 4,000 across the board, I believe if they do lose the second round to EnVyUs, they may be forced onto that reset leading into the 5th round.
A very awkward situation to be in. It's just a matter of wait and tell if that is going to be the issue and if that's how it will actually affect the flow of the game. The Pickles lad there.
There's Team Endpoint. Jesp, Pickles, Cryptics, AdamXO as well. Got to give him a good shout out. Jasmine, of course, social media manager of Endpoint. Still, we saw Endpoint play earlier today. Not the best showing for them, but obviously for a lot of these teams, it is, for some of the players, first time LAN experience. So for them, it's about getting comfortable on the stage and being able to deliver what you can from online right in front of us on stage.
This is the thing as well. If you look at it, the difference between both sides.
Oh, yeah. I mean, EnVyUs are just there, like, all the energy's gone. They're upset, look distraught. EnVyUs is having a great time.
They're loving it.
Talking about what they got on Nando's, obviously. What did you get?
Half chicken, mate.
Yeah, I mean, if you get more than the half chicken, it's a bit too filling as well. I mean, especially if you get 2 sides. But
Welcome back to Nando's talk. Obviously, other brands of food are available.
Of course, of course.
Red Snake, though, that's a snake. It's not a chicken. But can they bite back?
Oi.
Question.
Sharp one there.
I think snakes bite. Well, they sliver consistently. Biting's more of an occasional thing. They do hiss.
In defense.
Yeah.
If only...
Well, that's the thing. CT side, are they going to bite?
Well, they're on the T side.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You said in defense.
Yeah. Anyway, though, defense.
They'll sliver down.
Exactly. So, sliver down already. They're currently marching towards B. Is this another fast play towards Banana?
Oh, Lambert as well, leading the charge with the AWP in hand. He is going to get a myriad of nades actually lobbed towards his head. Jack's in a prime-time position. They don't lose anything, though.
But what is this from Infused? No one towards A. 3 players still here for the EnVyUs side. They're going to be hearing steps. People pulling out nades as well. Pins being pulled. The flash comes in towards Jack. That's the first frag there. The double frag there for Pedestal.
Oh, this is very awkward. Just playing around the flashbangs as soon as those Infused players are away. It's so easy for him to find the kills. Aaron does a little bit of damage over there. There's Lambert finally chiming in with that railgun.
Look at the discipline there. Doesn't go for the reface. He knows there's still a chance for Aaron to win this. You don't typically see this from the UK teams. The discipline, the cohesion. I mean, if that's a UK player, an up-and-coming UK player or whatever, I mean, that's just going to be complete arrogance, complete ego, trying to go for the flashy plays. They want the highlights. You can see already just the difference in styles.
EU mindset right now.
Exactly that.
As well.
Exactly.
They play around the flashbang. They actually peek before the flash as well. They knew the backs are turned because they're peeking into the wall, trying to cover themselves in the flashbang so they can try and go for the frags when they peek. Instantly gets 2 frags, and then you leave Jax to mop up the rest. And Lambert, of course, with the AWP for the final couple. Infused now as well, broke in terms of economy. They do have the Deagles, bit of a lifeline, but nothing really to write home about.
Yeah. Going to be playing this one nice and slow as well on their T side. You've got the 3 Deagles, MCK, Aaron, and Red Snake. If they can land a headshot or 2, try and find multiple entries towards this A site, then there's a chance they win it. Especially as well towards A, right? There's so many headshot angles you can play towards pit, towards site on those default boxes. If you don't have Kevlar, it's not the end of the world for yourself.
Lambert here as well. If they go for this burst play, out of boiler, try and take control towards A site from quad, he is going to be able to get a ridiculous amount of frags off the back of this.
And finally as well, there's 3 players towards A. It seems like Lambert has such a good read on Infuse right now. When they're going towards B, there's 3 there. He stacks them there. When they're going towards A, you can see already stats them out the sky.
Swift, as he finds that opening shot, is able to fall back into a better position as well. They can be holding the angle. There's a second follow-up frag. Hungry for the Vern. Of course he finds it. Can he get the quad kill? Of course he can. And it's just 1 man left standing. Mick quaking in his boots. And it looks like Lambert's going to try and do something a little bit special, but it's not meant to happen as Mick goes huge of a double deeg before Jax will put him down.
That's just a glimpse of the potential skill that MCK has. I wasn't alluding to anything when I mentioned how good he was online. And it simply meant the potential there is unbelievable. And you can see in that round there, those 2 quick flick Deagle frags were sick, but not quite as sick as his AWP flicks.
Obviously, I mean, in terms of LAN wins as well, Mick got a win of the
EPS
Premiership behind him. Yeah,
United Estonia. Was that with Joe?
No, that was with the Estonians. Nugger, HS.
HS, yeah, of course. Qualified for the major. Of course,
yeah,
well, long way.
Actually quite a good team at the time. Obviously ripped their way through. That was against Infused, so.
Was indeed. Jax as well pushes him through that smoke, trying to get the first frag, but actually Eccles has his number. Talking about numbers, it's going to be the 1-man advantage right now for Team Infused. Thanks to the aggressive play, but actually smokes the foot out, I think, actually. Trying to see if he can shoot through his heel.
Yeah, go for the kneecaps. Common approach, break the kneecaps.
Did you see it?
Does have the angle. This is incredible pixel angle. Ooh, went for the
legs him. He does leg him.
Does leg him. Oh my god, that's actually huge.
It is indeed. Aaron now. The thing is, right, psychologically as well, once they go into the further rounds, the fact that he knows he's going to play that aggressive, he's going to play a little bit more cautious.
Early push coming out as well. They're just going to try and flood their way around. They are left in a 4 versus 4 that's manageable. They lose the low player in Aaron as well, so everyone's fairly stable in HP. It looks quite symmetrical right now. Nice little boost coming out from VKL, but he can't find too much. Things get a little bit too hot from Ajay as well as he's sent off to the Burns ward, leaving it just on the final 3 members of Team EnVyUs to hold back this site push. But really, the push is going towards the B-bomb site.
Exactly that. Lambert now finding the frag onto MCK, and once they peek out and see that there's no one there, you can see already it's all down to Peterschool.
Firing off a couple of pot shots. The flashbang will go out to delay as they slip their way in towards the site, looking fairly effective as they've been able to sliver in. Nice prime time position. Can't get the bomb plant as well. Paceco is going to try and go for the smoke boost here with the AWP as well. Oh, this could be huge if they can actually find an opening frag, get themselves into a 3 versus 2. It would be manageable, but they're struggling a little bit. They finally get into the elevated angle, but the flashbang will slow them down. They're going to go for the 3-man push through runes.
Potentially 2 kits, no utility right now in the CT retake. They can't smoke off banana or smoke the bomb. They're going to have dry faces into the crosshairs. Talking about crosshairs, VK takes the frag onto Trials. Red Snake though chimes in, finds Peterschool, 2 versus 2.
Red Snake doing damage right now as Red Snake strikes. A hat-trick comes out from the in-game leader of Infused. And he is looking crisp at that point. Great defense, stops him from getting back onto the site, and Infused finally gets some momentum.
Confidence frags are so vital, especially for Red Snake himself. Someone who brings himself down a lot, right?
Yeah, very critical of his own plays.
Exactly that, right? You could say, oh, you're sick, you're playing well, but he would still say to himself, no, I'm not, I'm still playing bad, or whatever. I mean, quite hard for himself to, quite hard for him, sorry, to bring himself back up, but that's why he got nil there. To shout him, telling him he's unreal.
That's that dynamic, of course. Gets him in that good position, gets the calls going, gets the blood flowing, and everyone feels happy with the plays. Right now, Infused leading 4 rounds on the board. Team EnVyUs, can they bite back?
So, Lambert again, aggressive towards Abs. We saw him tag up Aaron. Could this be the time where actually doesn't shoot him through the kneecap, instead straight through the dome and lands the first entry for EnVyUs.
Oh, this time around it's going to be Mick doming him. Finds the opening headshot. VKL is going to try and respond, but Mick plays phenomenally. Shuts them both down so swiftly. Hajj as well. He's got the Mag 7, which is great in close range, but playing from balcony, spamming down towards quad. Can he find these frags? No, he can't. Trials really quite swift there as he will execute him. Jax and Pettyskill might have to just go for the full save.
They may indeed. Observer, if we can take a quick look at the cash, please. There we go. So look, Jack's there, 400, 200, so they won't be able to buy up into the next one. So it's actually crucial here. They do save these M4s. Only lost 1 round. It's going to be the second one as well. So that's what, 1,900 bonus. So for the EnVyUs side, they're going to get 1.9k. Full eco that. 2.4k into the next round as well following that one. That'll be the 10th round. So you can have a decent buy, fairly standard buy, 4.5k, 4.4k. So that's what? M4, Kevlar, Flash, Smoke.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot you can do with that. Smart here for them just to save. Obviously the 2 M4s, if they stack towards the site and Lambert has a good read and puts them into the site that Team Infused may rush or go to or execute on, then really there's a chance that they can actually take this one with just 2 rifles.
It's nice as well, obviously, Infused, they all exit together, they play it smart, so they only have the 1 casualty, so they're not letting their economy get dented. They're just trying to keep themselves healthy rather than playing anything too risky.
My God.
These frags were unreal. Incredible stuff coming out from Mick. And this is what we need to see as well. He had teeming with confidence before the game. You could see it in him.
Oh, yeah.
The swagger on the walk up towards the stage, he was loving it. He was like, yeah, we're going to win.
He just walked past us, we're going to bang him.
Yeah.
Fortunately for them, though, I was a bit on the flip side on the first map. So far, so good, though, for Infused. Already got 5 rounds, same amount of rounds they got on the previous map altogether, and only 9 rounds in, so much stronger showing for them.
Hadji with the taser.
With the Zeus. See, it's only $100 for the kill, but then again, a kill is a kill.
It's also the mental game as well. Not going to be fantastic if he's able to pull one of these off the back. Could be an electrifying round. Of course, it will be. Tases Mick. That's going to be a little bit awkward. Oh, the response from Trials. That's ridiculous. Finding that headshot so crisp down the corridor as well. Puts the Magnum 4 versus 4.
Can actually hear the players typing as well. I imagine he's saying nice shot right now towards Trials. That was unreal. But
So
did get dinked up, though. Actually picks up a Zeus as well off the dead body. That's quite interesting. But anyway, 2 rounds separated these 2 teams. We're in a 4 versus 4. Only Kevlar and Pettyskill now, as Jack does fall. Hadji did revive and salvage that Kalashnikov, though. So right now, we're in a 4 versus 4. 3 rifles on the CT side, but only 1 set of Kevlar.
This is the thing. It's the one man there to defend the site as well, Pettyskill. He has the Molotov and the flashbang. He can delay, but it just depends if he can actually ward them off. Needs to try and get 2 frags on the board here, ideally, to buy his teammates enough time to rotate, or else these Ts could be in very good hunker down after plans.
Yes, a Molotov. 30 seconds left. Chucks the molly in. 6 seconds gone. Smoke comes in. We should be seeing a rotation here for the CT side fairly soon. Execute comes in. Molotovs rain through. Pettyskill now alone on the side.
And it all falls to him to just delay, allow his teammates more time to rotate in as they are quite far away. Will peek out wide, finds the opening frag. Smart actual allocation here of the damage he wants to go for. Takes down 2 players. That is fantastic. Exactly how we need to play the round. Leaves him in a 3 versus 2 retake.
Bomb is being planted. Oh my God, he gets the dink as well. Finds that frag. Red Sync does fall, but Echo's there. Finds the 2 kills. Time is gone.
That is so smart. So clever. He goes for
There was too much going on. They didn't even see the time.
Incredible stuff. Obviously, for the way he played that, there wasn't enough time. If he denied the bomb plant there, they instantly lose the round. Exactly. So he goes in on his lonesome, plays through the back of the smokes, gets the dink off on the drive-by and the follow-up headshot, takes him down, denies the bomb. A ludicrous way to win the round. Absolutely insane that he's pulled that off, but great individual decision-making.
Massive play there from Pettyskill as well. Finding those 2 frags, making it 2 versus 3.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, the fact that they denied the plant to go down. Time expired, and Echoes, even though he found those 2 frags, and in the 1 versus 1, probably would have won it as well. That last player remaining for the CT side had no armor, so you do have to be favoring him there. Jax finds the kill on the FSO mentioned Echoes, resulting in a 1-man advantage with 1 minute 25 on the clock right now for EnVyUs. Aaron, this is Tech 9 to his name. Give me 3 AKs as well. No AWP for the T side right now in Inferno. not really the end of the world. Typically, the AWP is only used for map control, early frags, and if you haven't got really that dynamic AWP, you don't really need to bring it out. You can't really use that much of a supportive style AWP on your T-side Inferno.
Yeah, that's a horrible dink as well for Aaron. He's on 10 HP into the round. They've already lost their calls.
It's pretty much a 3 versus 5 at this point. Jax as well, if he spams towards the smoke, could find himself that kill onto Aaron, but they can actually boost here.
This is smart. Get Jax in the elevated angle. The amount of damage you can do with a Firestorm of bullets, but it's not going to work. They spam back through the smoke. Trials as well, looking on point. He's finally starting to get some momentum behind him, and he's doing damage. Rips his way through VKL. It's left on Petiskull. He's out of position. You can't really effectively go for this retake. Once again, probably just going to have to hold for exits.
Unbelievable. That Infused managed to salvage that round.
Oh, yeah.
Trials goes huge with the 2K there towards the A site. Gets dinged up initially, but somehow, some way, finds those 2 AK headshots. And now we go to 5-5. Sorry, 6-4 actually. We're not going to be tied up. It's going to be Infused with a 2-round advantage, actually breaking the bank as well of EnVyUs. So such a crucial round to win. Trials there, stepping up big. And no gun saved. Red Snake finds him. Man of the hour, the man that found those 2 frags in front of your screen right now, Trials. Aaron there to the right, Neil M standing up right behind him, the coach motivator. Red Snake on the left, giving the call right now, the IGLN captain. You can see Neil M prepping the players for this crucial round. They can't allow themselves to lose versus the Eco. This should be a fairly clean round for them. And actually, it's going to be the force play coming out from EnVyUs. So, similar to the Eco, they will have the pistols, but actually have the armor backing up behind it, which means if they do find a kill, they can pick up an AK and have that Kevlar to avoid the aim punch. Crucial if they want a chance of winning this upset round with a force buy.
Yeah, they need to just play it smart. Play their own game, and don't let EnVyUs affect them in this scenario.
What's crucial as well is, if Infused win this one, go to 7-4, EnVyUs is going to be forced to the Eco. That should be 8-4. And at that point already, Infused would have already won this first half, which I definitely wouldn't have been expecting after seeing Cobblestone.
So right now they're just playing it slow. Obviously just hold their angle, see if EnVyUs is going to peek into them. They're just playing crossfires essentially with these pistols, especially towards this B-bomb set. You can see the positions they're utilizing here. CZs like that in tight angles, very deadly if you walk into that trap.
They are indeed. Once again, there's Zeus on Haji though. Trying to see if he can find another frag with that weapon. Actually playing the end of balcony as well, but I don't think any of these teams will be going that direction. Through the smoke will be VKL to find frags, but actually the distraction there will allow Lambert to come in from behind and catch MCK off guard.
Mind games on display. VKL going to back off as well. They're in a good position. They can actually just play around this, full further back, hold those crossfires, hold their angles. They can just play for trades and essentially win this one out if they play it correctly.
Still, only 1 frag though, so can't really get 2 into this round. Jack's falling back. Ooh, actually, Echoes will even out the numbers 4 versus 4. All down to Jax now towards CT. Finds 1, finds 2!
Oh, this is huge from Jax as he strikes at the right moment, just whilst the iron was hot, takes down 2 fantastic members of the side as he repositions as well, and he waits for his teammates. He's not going to get overzealous. VKL will shut down Aaron with a deagle. Sure, Red Snake can respond, but he's just overwhelmed. There's too many CTs approaching, and they're able to strike and take him down. Defuse will come out, and that's 5-6.
Problem for me right now is the fact that EnVyUs winning these rounds could be the changing factor once we do get into the 13-13, the 12-13, or whatever. I mean, EnVyUs giving up these crucial rounds, losing versus the pistols, the Kevlar, rounds where you can just flush them out with Molotovs, play it slow, group up, play together, have set strats versus the anti-ecos. I mean, double nade towards Banana, right? Take control of mid, smoke off somewhere towards mid, arch, or towards quad. Try and see the reaction that you see from EnVyUs, but instead, they don't smoke anything off. 2 players towards mid. Lambert just able to push through, peek out, and find that frag onto MCK. Anyway, we are going to another pause. Not quite sure if it's tactical or technical. I just got confirmation it is a technical pause, but then again, for Infused, fairly good timing considering they did lose versus that force buy.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst case situation to be in. Obviously, gives them time to cool down. This actually slows down EnVyUs' momentum as well of a play like that, as they're not going to be in the best situation. I mean, as we work into it, right now, round 12 in this first half, fairly good showing from Infused in their T-half. This is what we want to see as well. They've got the energy behind them. They're actually finding some very fantastic frags. Trials has stepped up massively into this one as well.
Talk about frags as well, right? Red Snake 10-6 right now. We saw in the previous map, it was 6 for 10 on Cobblestone, so already a much stronger showing there from the IGN captain. Man in front of you right there, James.
Honestly, one of the things as well that I'm actually quite surprised at is it feels like Aaron's having a bit of an off day compared to what we're used to seeing. Aaron, you know, he's been around for so long, played back in 1.6, obviously a beast of the UK scene. One of the sort of kings, really, when you think about it.
He is known as the Cardinal for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 months ago, 7 months ago, people were easily considering the best player potentially in the UK. I mean, he had European offers as well for high salary, but turned them down. He wants the normal life. You can't blame him, you know. That's one thing, though. Normal life. You're mentioning having an off day, but how much time can he really afford to playing CS in his off time, into his spare time when it's not working? Does that, or does the low hours come back to haunt him once he's on stage and playing under that red Infused banner? Anyway, though, going into this one, 5 AKs for the Team Infused side. We're not really going to be seeing much of an AWP, especially on the T side Inferno. They don't really have a not stable AWPer, but a primary AWPer, right? Not someone who's always going to be dropped it, who's always going to be saving for it. Instead, they bring it out only if they need to. 3 players towards mid. We've got Aaron again in towards apps. Only Echoes towards B, trying to see if there's a push. We've seen Jack as well get quite overzealous there towards B, but talking about being overzealous, push comes in towards mid for the T side. 3 players here and the bomb. So if they get spotted with that, that could be a heavy rotation, but mentioning that already, you can see 4 players here for the CT side. Lambert takes a shot through Arch. We're seeing the T's push through.
Luckily enough as well, they're not going to dry peek into that. They won't overextend too far. They're going to use that utility smartly so they can actually zone out Lambert rather than just dry peeking into the AWP crosshair. But this crossfire with Hajj, the man that was so huge in the opening map, this is going to be quite awkward. Him and Jack start to do a little bit of damage. They find the opening frags, but Mick claws it back as he gets into a fantastic situation. Mick off the back of a hat trick leaves them in a 2 versus 2. Mick unfortunately will fall, and it's all on Eccles. He had a great first map. He's got energy behind him. There's hype in the team, and this will be a huge clutch round to win as he fires off the pot shots, nearly finds a headshot, but he just gets overwhelmed in that situation. EnVyUs play it smart, and unfortunately, they will be able to get the defuse.
They will indeed. You can see there, Red Snake shaking his head, thinking, how have we lost this round?
Oh, yeah.
They have control of mid, they're pushing up towards Arch, but there's no frags found for that T side, I believe. They got 1 kill towards side, instantly traded there from the CT side, and from there towards apartments. So easy for VKL just to reign supreme. Jack as well on that side. That balcony didn't quite have much of an impact. Lambert as well rotating in from library. Did find that kill towards quad. Match pause once again. So things do slow down. 6-6.
Yeah.
Gonna be the AWP onto Lambert. Again, I mean, his AWP hasn't really been that aggressive. It's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Supportive style, potentially? Finding the frags in the 4 versus 4, the 3 versus 3. He's not really going for those audacious, crazy first frags, right? If he has the B spawn, I believe it was Jack that went for the pick towards B, so this might be a similar affair towards Method, right? Usually we see Nilzinho play more of that supportive style AWP, and then if they wanted someone to go for that aggressive, early pick, first frag style, they'd hand it over to a Jenko or a Pulse.
That's the thing. It makes his life easier with calling. You know, you have kind of a little bit of a further back restricted.
Exactly. You can look at the minimap more. Obviously, when you're AWPing and IGLing, it's so hard to allocate both of your time to 2 things at once, right? The AWPer needs to know exactly what he's doing to the round, and obviously, as the IGL, you need to be knowing what your team is doing as well. So, in some respects, it is a lot harder to focus on both aspects. But then again, right, when you have the AWP and you call as well, then a map like Inferno does tend to aid that as well, right? You peek towards Arch, peek towards quad, you lead and dictate the pace of your T sides.
Well, not even that as well. I mean, adding on to that, it's just the fact, as that AWPer, what's vital, what feeds how the IGL wants to play it out, is getting those feelers out there, getting the information early. You can gain so much information from a couple of early peaks with the AWP. We've seen Lambert playing a very sort of more restricted style, though. Not even when he's got the mid-swarm. We're not seeing that early phase coming out. He doesn't want to run any of those risks, which is quite nice to see. A very tight-run ship. You can see they have the structure there, and they do not want to deviate from that. But obviously, they're restricting themselves in some ways.
Then again, what's the point as well, right? Why go for the over-facing, the aggressive style when if you're playing slow and passive on cobblestone, it works so well for you. Just have faith in the other 4 players. I mean, you don't really need that initial frag. Even if they're losing it, even if they're a man down, they're still able to bring it back. I believe the match is on pause now. We're going live into this one. So, Team Infused, Red Snake was shaking his head because he looked at the bank. Pistols across the board, and that'll be it.
Not a great situation to be in, obviously. I mean, what are we expecting? A shock and all round, some explosive?
Potentially, I mean, we've got the quality by the MCK of head armor and the Tech 9. Good HE nade as well would sink in a lot of damage.
Oh, petty skill as well. Just easy headshots. 1-2, 1-2 as he hands out these digs, finding frags towards Banana. Jax is going to have to fall back towards first oranges, though, and just try and hunker down. Quick rotate comes in for the CTs as well, so they are getting into position to deal with this. But the Ts seem to have decided to back off a little bit, slow down the pace.
They have indeed. So, 1 minute 20 on the clock. 1-man lead for the EnVyUs side. Petisco finding 2 frags there towards sandbags. I mean, they had Molotovs. They're not mollying out sandbags, not mollying off the top of Banana. Instead, they're allowing these CTs to play crossfires, to play for each other. And it's not really good enough, to be frank. Close to the smoke. That's Eccles. They could flash him in, see if he can get a peek. See if he can find an entry bot. Can't do much versus the AWP of Lambert. Finds that first frag. Onto the push, onto this B side, sorry.
Oh, Jackson elevated angle as well, where you can deal so much damage. The eye in the skies, the aerial madman, as it comes into effect, will eliminate them both. And unfortunately, Infused don't get too much out of that fast eco round at all.
They don't indeed. So finally, Infused now going to be in the deficit by 1 round. EnVyUs at 7. Infused, what's important to note here as well is the fact that Infused did win the pistol. So that is 3 rounds. So you win your pistol, that's 1. You play versus the force on the eco, that's an extra 2.
Yeah.
3 buy rounds, 1 for Infused, and 7 buy rounds, 1 for EnVyUs. And finally, some aggression here from Lambert. Does get the leg and the tag. We saw something similar towards Apartments, but this time it goes for the reface. You can see he's gleaming with confidence.
This actually could catch him off guard as well. The fact he's gone for that secondary face, he's really quite heavily making his presence known. Infused aren't going to be expecting this, and this could play quite heavy mind games with him off the back of that as well.
It could indeed. You can see he has all the presence and the control towards Banana. He actually rotates Jax off, but he'll come back just because the Ts aren't really saying too much towards that A-bomb side as well. No smokes, no flashes yet. Not really been showing their hand and taking control of that A side. Boost comes in. Eccles might be facing into his death.
Meanwhile, over at the barn, though, they are going to be trying to take control of a bomb site. They found their way up quad, just covering their angles, but they need to try and get this a little bit more clean and coherent. We've seen a couple of mistakes as they've taken control last time. As you said, Eccles will be sniped down as well by Lambert as he found control towards that B bomb site. Hajj, he's at actually quite a deadly angle, just tucked in towards the site, obviously hidden. If they make their way on and don't clear this, he could tell them apart.
Smoke comes in front of Pip. MCK boosted up. Actually gets run boosted a little bit. Won't really be too much to say. The MCK does forward. Now Haji there towards the single box will find 2 frags. Actually, no, gets 2 assists as VKL from Pip underneath balcony find those 2 frags. They have the crossfire. Things that we haven't been seeing from the CT setups of Infused, right? You can see already on Inferno, EnVyUs having these great setups, playing for each other, having crossfires. That's exactly what Infused did not have on Cobblestone. So many times we saw 1 kill, then no trades following that.
That's what I mean. I mean, the basics of Counter-Strike, really.
Exactly.
Crossfires, trading for each other effectively. Oh, we actually see Lambert trying to go for a bit of a flashy play as well. They go for the run boost, and he wants to take the fight towards Red Snake, but decides that he will actually back off. They could overwhelm him well, but Lambert goes back for more. He loves the sloppy seconds as he finds the frag on towards Trials.
Flamboyant with the opposite, he finds the first frag here for EnVyUs. Trials does fall. 1-man advantage, make it 2 because VKL finds 1. Finds the second, goes for the spray down, but doesn't quite get it.
Lambert, again, hungry for some more damage, but it's just going to be Jax to pick off the stragglers, and Aaron makes the last one on the scene. Hoping it causes a bit of a stir in this final round of the half. The flashbangs will go out. He'll peek over, taps away with the Tech 9, but can't quite find the kill. And EnVyUs do come out on top in that one.
From a 3-0 lead on the T side of Infused, they finished the half 9-6. Only 3 buy rounds being won for them. That's what, 3-9?
Yeah.
After that pistol round and those ecos were over, so the scoreline a little bit more misleading than it was. I mean, imagine if EnVyUs had won that, we could have been seeing a 12-3 scoreline on T-side Inferno.
That's what I mean. Very all over the place. But the only good factor is they now got a little bit more confidence behind them. Seems like everyone's playing better individually, more like what we're actually used to seeing with some of these Infused players on paper.
Yeah.
Going into the CT half, they're favoured in terms of their defensive style, and the thing in the
Potentially.
CT half as well, all you rely on is that individual aim capability.
Yes and no. They are lacking the AWP though, right?
Yeah.
Think about how important Lambert's AWP was on that CT side. There's no primary AWPer for Infused. So it's going to be very interesting to me to see who is actually taking the reins of that arch position, potentially the hardest position on the map.
That's kind of interesting as well, because obviously, with the changes coming into effect, we need to see what Red Snake's going to be bringing to the table. Look fairly good with the AWP over on Cobblestone, but is that going to be the consistent factor?
Live into the pistol round. You can see Lambert mirroring exactly what Infused did to them on their T-pistol, chucking an HE there towards Car. And actually, that will block any sound as well. So imagine if you're there, you get hit by the HE, you can't hear if there's any footsteps. You might overcall something and cause an over-rotation.
Oh, Mick, this is kind of the player you'd want in this scenario, as they're going to try and take that apps control early, but unfortunately Aaron gets taken down. They can't trade this either. He has to rotate all the way over, struggling to stay alive, can't even get a frag on the board, will be shut down by Jax, which leaves them with only 3 remaining members on that CT side. This retake already looking kind of unlikely, but Eccles does a bit of damage.
Through the smoke, you'll find the frag onto Jax, hit onto Red Snake. There was the HE as well. Imagine if that was a smoke, could have gone for the smoke defuse. Speaking of Red Snake, does find that kill onto Peteskill, as we do lead into the 3 versus 3.
Red Snake can go trying to mount this retake, but the thing is as well, in the backline, we do have Lambert, who's just waiting to play from Boiler. He gets an instant backstab on Red Snake, and it's just as easy as that.
See, Neilem knows exactly how hard this map is going to be now to win after losing that pistol. Red Snake looking dazed and stunned, thinking, what on earth happened towards A? How was that 3 versus 5?
He looks confused how that's even got to that situation.
He does indeed. I mean, you can hear the EnVyUs side, the French lineup screaming, realizing the fact that winning that pistol should mean a 12-6 scoreline. You win that first buy around 13-6, force them onto the low economy buy, and at that point, that should be all she wrote. That could spell the end already for Team Infused, potentially a swift 2-0, if, of course, they don't lose versus the pistols.
And that is the key factor. It's all lifts and butts at this point.
Actually, what's interesting here as well from EnVyUs is the fact that they have 2 MAC-10s, no rifles.
A little bit risky. Actually, just playing quite heavily with those MAC-10s, and everyone's getting obliterated, actually. They've walked into a huge stack. The scout damage from Red Snake, comboing with the pistol damage in close range, has paid off massively. They only have 2 players left to try and take down to pick up this round. Sure, they get the bomb plant, but this is an easy retake if they play their cards right. They just need to find this frag on towards Peteskill, who's going for the aggro play.
Lambert now flashing him in towards Ruin. Does get the dink up towards Eccles. Big C gets tagged up as well. Double play towards Ruin. That's smart as well. 2 versus 2. They have Kevlar armor, but Aaron finds that kill, turning to the 2 versus 1, spraying down. Peteskill can't quite get it. You can hear Neilem firing up the squad, shouting away, echoing throughout the whole cinema. He's loving every second of it.
That's what you need as well. Get Aaron riled up, get him back on form. We touched on how Aaron is such an explosive player. He is the Cardinal. We need to see it come to the stage.
Explosive, generally consistent as well.
Oh, yeah.
So for him, great play there for Infused side. As we do head over to the next round. So, reset there coming in. Going to be on that low buy. 10-7, only 3 rounds separated these 2 teams. A much closer affair than what we saw on Cobblestone. Eccles, the new addition to this team, trying to see if he can show he's worthy of playing in the Elite Series right now. And so far, he's been playing well. I mean, Cobblestone is really the only gleaming factor for Infused. Anyone really being able to challenge the skill on EnVyUs. In the second map as well, been playing his heart out. So another rack 10 for Hadji. Tech 9 onto Peteskill. Actually, what's quite nice for them is the fact that they didn't overbuy into the previous one, which means they have enough money to buy up AKs into this one.
Aaron, you can see concentrating quite heavily. Consistency is key with this man. 5 versus 5. Still, EnVyUs playing that very slow style that they absolutely thrive in. This is where they play at their physical best. They can dictate the pace of the game, especially on the T side as well. They can write the rules.
They can indeed. Tech 9 and MAC-10 trying to get that into close range. Hadji there spamming through the smoke. Hoping he can find that kill towards Quad. What's unfortunate for him actually is the fact that all of the CT players have head armor, right? If there was only Kevlar, no helmets, could have been that first shot, headshot, and that first shot kill at close quarters range. But unfortunately for him, they will have Kevlar helmet, which means the triple dink, the double dink, it's not going to be his day.
Peeking into an absolutely wild man himself, Eccles, as they slowly get into the back line. Is Eccles going to clear this? It seems like they're running straight to Red Snake, actually, as they've deviated through Arch. Hadji will find the frags. He rips his way through with the MAC-10. Aaron does a little bit of damage back. Will eliminate Jax, but it's on VKL and Hadji to really start to reignite the fire. Look at the tag through the smoke as well. Aaron only left on 25 HP. Mick on 100, but this is unlikely. You just need to save because this is way too out of your control.
Infused, going to cut their losses. Try and come back again stronger. Thank you, Observer, for bringing up the scoreboard. I was about to ask what the money's like. See, $200 across the board. Yep. Not enough to buy up into this round. They won't have M4s. They are saving the rifle, of course. 2 rifles there, MCK and Aaron. But then again, what can you really buy up into this one? You want to go for the force buy. You're going to get 1.4K, so you can drop over 2 UMPs. You can have 2 M4s, 2 UMPs, CZ or whatnot with decent utility, so the buy will be okay, but okay at best.
And this scenario as well, it's kind of getting towards that crunch time where, if you're using that CT side, once we get to those full buy rifle rounds, they need to come in early. They can't start off with a weak full buy and try and recover it at that point because EnVyUs is going to balloon out of control. They need to get real quickly.
They do indeed. So, 11-7, Infused going to be going for the force buy. Actually, they're not, I'm wrong. No Kevlar on Echo's Trials or Red Snake, P250s and USPs. They're not going to play for the reset. Can we take a look at the money real quick, please, Observer? Can you bring up the scoreboard for me? I just want to see what the money's like on EnVyUs because, yeah, so 0, 1,400. The thing is, if they win this round and reset the money, they grant themselves an extra 2, 8, 9, 10. That could be a 10-11 scoreline, but enough for the future. Into the present, it's MCK. He does fall to the Molotov and the spray at Peterskel. A one-man lead with 1 minute 10 on the clock. And the point I was trying to make is, when you do lose the round, you go for the force buy. You're trying to break the economy back and try and get the momentum in your favor, but instead they go for the save. Maybe overthinking how much money EnVyUs had. Maybe they thought that even if they won this round, they couldn't break the bank still.
Yeah, a little bit potentially of a misread going into it. Obviously could come back to bite them. Right now, though, EnVyUs stacked outside towards that B bomb site. Echo's getting a lot of information as he had gone for the second mid play. Aaron gets shut down. That's not how you want this round to boil down to. Already left in an awkward spot. It's just going to get worse by the second. Hadji just dish everyone out of the server. Any chance you give him, he will find these frags so easily. Through smokes, through flashes. He doesn't give a damn.
Doesn't indeed. 12-7 now. Let's take a look at the buy coming in for both sides. 4 rifles on EnVyUs, going to be the FAMAS there onto Peterskel. It seems like he's the support player, right? It seems like on the pistol rounds, he's the one buying the utility. He's the one taking the hit in terms of firepower. Going to the Tech 9, dropping over the AKs. Infused going for a second eco. 13-7. Are they banking on an AWP and a full buy? Then again, I mean, who's going to bring out the AWP? Who's playing Arch for them? And we haven't really been seeing a structured full buy. So far, it's always been half buys, UMPs, 2 M4s there, 2 M4s here. So without the AWP in play, it's been hard to see how Infused are structured on their CT side. And if we do get to see the AWP, who's going to wield it and who's going to take up the Arch position? And then again, what do you really do there? Are you going to play aggressive? Are you going to play defensive? What style are you going to try and use and expose the weaknesses of EnVyUs?
That's what's quite scary, is obviously with that sort of structure, it's not as strict. Oh, Eccles peeks out, hoping to do something so Aaron could try and trade with him or at least have that crossfire potential. But he just loses his head in a matter of seconds. So Aaron just trying to play off the audio cues now up close. Personal will peek out at the right time and shuts down Lambert, but Mick has been dropped at the same time. Red Snake also unfortunately going to follow the same fate as Hadji. Of course, he doesn't just get the one frag. He's going to have the double.
He loves every second of it. Gets a 2K, goes for more as well. Smokes beneath him, pushes through that CT position and hunts for frags. Jack's there. Going to be from the last kill to Aaron. 13-7. This is what they save for, right? 2 saves, 2 ecos for this buy and this buy only. Let's take a look at what they've got to wield. Ooh, that was a crispy shot there from Hadji. And then obviously the spray up and he gets that 2K. So lights out performance here from Hadji. Jax as well, 22-13. Hadji might be on 13 kills, but after that cobblestone performance, I mean, single-handedly carrying his team. But enough of that. It's going to be the AWP on Echoes of all people. Has the mid spawn. Doesn't go for it. They're going to be peeking in towards apps, but actually gets cold feet. Gets a little bit scared of that Molotov coming in. Doesn't take the risk. You go, you peek towards second mid, you run through the Molotov, you take in 50 to 80 damage. If you don't find a kill there, you've almost thrown the round instantly.
That's the thing. Such a heavy investment onto him as well. It just isn't worth the risk at this late into the game where EnVyUs could be taking that round 14 at this point. Going for the contact burst into A.
Exactly. You see these 2 players come back towards B. Lambert throws that smoke. It's probably going to go towards Mini. Yeah, it does. So that cuts off. Oh, where are they looking?
This is ridiculous. The contact play. Hatchme as well gets away with such a ridiculous play. You shouldn't be achieving things like this. It's mental to see that they've just been able to pull that off. You go for the flashbang over, instant burst out of apps, but he just glides down with such confidence. No one is focusing on those angles. Both players focusing towards mid. No support from pit or site. So they just get obliterated. Even just on Red Snake and Trials that have to save.
You can see what they do as well, right? They show presence towards B. They have the 3 players ready in apps to go as soon as that smoke lands. Lambert and co. I believe it was VK. Yeah, what? So VK and Lambert go towards B. They chuck nades, utility, flashbangs, molotovs. They fake it. And that means one player there from Arch rotates. As soon as he rotates, that leaves Aaron and Eccles towards A.
Red Snake trying to hold back. Seems like... Nope, wasn't meant to be. Thought he was actually going to get away with this rifle, but after time we'll get shut down.
Did we just miss a round? That was that quick?
No, that was the continuation. Obviously,
Okay. Got a bit worried there.
You're all right, mate.
Yeah, I know, a bit on edge. What can I say? Anyway.
Yeah, that was the...
Oh, that was disgusting as well. One spray, 2 frags like that.
That's what I mean. That's the thing as well. They couldn't even trade efficiently because as soon as he got that first frag, all it took was him to flick up, continue with the spray transfer, and get the second headshot. That's the U-Frag Generations A-tape, mate. The apps burst.
U-Frag Generations, gosh. Got to give a shout out to Sed, big member of the UK scene. Anyway, though, you can see the grins and the smiles there from EnVyUs, having a whale of a time across the seas towards the UK. Obviously, loving the banter.
Aji's loving it.
That's for the cheeky Nando's having a grin like that.
He's on a high.
What do you reckon he would order?
A man like Haji?
You reckon he goes spicy? I reckon half a chicken, hot.
I'm thinking he's going for the whole chicken. I think the amount of frags he's pulling out, that's the only place he's getting the energy from.
Maybe. 14-7. I mean, the money for Infused right now as well, 3,000 across the board.
Yeah.
It's not looking too good.
The thing is, they're definitely not out of this one yet. You're on the preferred side. They have structure. Cash isn't great, though. And the fact is, they don't have much of a buffer left to play with. So there's a lot of factors stacked on them, but there is a slight chance. They just need to sort things out.
They do indeed. I mean, we are unpaused. Let's see if this one does head into the round. I believe it will be. So round 22 does begin. 5 rifles on that T side. And look at the buy from Infused. 4 UMPs, 4 SMGs, and a FAMAS, not even an M4 there. Yeah. At least the utility is decent. I mean, you've got 2 smokes, you've got 2 Molotovs. What can you really do? I like the play that they're playing fast and aggressive. H's raining.
Eccles gets the opener. This is spot. This is what I wanted to see. Those aggressive mid takes. The nade strats coming out as they flood their way through. VKL will get the opening round as he actually starts to bring it back a little bit. Leaves them in a 3 versus 3 that does have a lot of potential. Aaron, though, spots them out, has a bit of a sniff and works out where they're going to be taking this play. It will be the A bomb site that is going to be attacked as Jax will slip his way out through balcony. The flashbang goes out. Oh, it's actually the mind games. They're lampooning him a little bit, Snods, as they backtrack.
Seems like Jax struggles to come out out of apps as much as I do.
It's true. Yoshi would not be happy with that play.
He would not indeed. Anyway, though, 3 versus 3. Slow play here from Jack, trying to see if he can find a frag. Bomb is still towards apps, though. And as well, VKO holding towards second mid, seeing if the CTs are still lurking around there after that mid push. But luckily for them, though, 2 players headed towards B. And actually, you can see Aaron on the rotation here might go through Library or Arch. Get caught off guard.
Oh, Jack's at the angle cover, but Aaron plays it smart. Oh. Stops. Aaron, the 6th sense. It's there.
Oh, you just slipped past him.
That is huge.
Charles, what are you oh, my goodness. I mean, that is literally a game of milliseconds. I mean, the facepalm says it all.
Jax with a follow-up frag as well as he dispatches of Aaron. The round was manageable, but now it's a lot less manageable. You leave it in the capable hands of Red Snake, but it's still going to be such a highly unlikely task. Makes his way over, can upgrade his weapon, I think, because there should be an M4 close by, but probably just go for that save and try and play for OT here.
OT, though, what? 8 rounds away, 8 rounds of the trot. You make one mistake, you slip up once, and that's it. The 2-0. I mean, Red Snake playing well, 14 frags for him, but 14 frags isn't enough. Typically, we see Aaron, MCK, Fry 1. I mean, imagine if they had Fry 1 there, right? This could have been a very different affair. No disrespect there for Trials, obviously, but you're taking out your best player you've been practicing with. You're bringing in a substitute, so regardless of whoever it is, you are going to be in a weaker state.
Fry loves this environment as well, doesn't he? Always had good performances in those sort of LAN environments. You could see, even though he didn't have as much experience when he started off playing in them, he learnt to perform incredibly well in those environments. So definitely might have had an edge playing from the arena today.
Exactly that. So, finally the AWP on Lambert.
Yep.
Then again, though, has he really... This is the thing, right? EnVyUs haven't really shown too much with their academy team. They haven't played too many officials. Hard to read them if you are a UK team coming into this. And already, what can you gain from this? You watch this demo back, there's no strats. I mean, there was a little bit of cobblestone, they had the 1 execute, but apart from that, Lambert hasn't had the AWP. We haven't seen them their full potential. They haven't been forced to show their hand yet. And that's going to be vital leading in to the rest of the Elite Series.
I mean, yeah, we've basically seen what? Split and pick default?
Yeah, basically. Winning Angels, Hanji just demolishing everyone.
there's been nothing other than sort of the standard 2-1-2, hold for angles, take map control slowly, play for picks. That's kind of it. There's not really anything too interesting. But Lambert going for a contact play this time with the AWP towards the B bomb site. Just scoping in. I think he's caught a whiff of some Infused players.
He's going real slow and steady as well. Doesn't want to make any mistakes there, but gets flashed off the angle. Trials there, will eventually find that frag. 50 seconds on the clock. You can see they didn't show the bomb as well.
Yeah.
Bomb still towards T-step, so not really that much info for the CTs. Jack now towards Apps, trying to see if he can equalize the numbers.
But Jack, is he aware of the location of Mick? Up close and personal, playing with that Kalashnikov, could do a lot of damage. The smoke is going to go out, but he strikes instantly. Smart, spam it to the smoke. You know he's close by. Wouldn't have time to rotate off the back of that. Mick with a second headshot as well, and Aaron finds one towards VKL. And saving that M4, trying to play for the OT. Smart decision make.
7 more rounds needed and required for OT here. I believe that'll be the first overtime of the Elite Series as well. Every single game finishing in regulation at that 16th round.
Yeah.
15-8, round 24. No AWP on the CT side. 5 rifles, 2 AKs picked up, 3 M4s, good utility as well. On the flip side though, EnVyUs are going to have that 4 AK setup with the AWP on Lambert, trying to close this one out. Look how fast he's playing and aggressive he's playing. Doesn't quite get the flick though. Doesn't pull the trigger in time, and Eccles will find that initial kill and grant his team that 1-man advantage once again.
Very scary stuff though. You can see trying to play off the back. Movement, huge tempo play.
Thing is though, once this gets a little bit closer, right? 10-15. At that point, all it takes is 1 or 2 Byron wins, and when you add in the ecos as well, this comeback is actually looking a lot closer than it really is showing.
Yeah. They're in good form. The only thing is, Infused need to just play it structured, play it smart. That's all we need to see coming out from them. Hajime as well. It's always scary when you see this guy getting into those sneaky positions. He can be an absolute monster at times. Send him off onto a site and he will rain havoc.
He will indeed. 1 minute on the clock. Haji now towards the second balcony. He can actually peek towards Defa, but I don't think he's going to be seeing anyone. Oh, it's a nice flick there from MCK. Tears the head off of Haji. That's going to force... They don't want to go anywhere near that raw firepower. They're going to be forced back towards B. Can they catch 2 players off guard though? Down to Trials.
Oh, Trials will get the opener in the things as well. There's already an extra CT on the site. The quick rotate has been called to instantly try and get over there as well. Red Snake does some damage as he now just has to stay alive, but he'll do one better. Red Snake will flex his guns a little bit and shut him down.
He wanted it up. Takes the heads off. Having a cheeky chat there with Neil as the in is out as well. So I don't want to say too much. As if he will be able to hear that. In is back in. Astro's back on. And now we can finally talk about the money. So 15-9.
Yeah.
Round has begun. Let's take a look. Infused now finally starting to gain a bit of cash. The problem is, though, of course, it's not about the cash at this point. Even if Infused lose rounds, it's not about buying up into the next one. It's the fact the game, would be over. And we should be at 16. Smoke comes in towards mid, denying any CT vision, any CT information. And VKL and co can be heading up towards Banana. Nice and slow, taking control. See, these were the Molotovs that Infused were lacking on their defaults.
Yeah. It's just that difference in the depth of their playbook. A few more additions here and there that just allow them to play a little bit more structure, have a lot more options. That's the difference maker.
So, we've seen some fairly audacious play from Lambert so far of the AWP. Pushing in, just running at players, just wanting to get this one over with. The problem is if you pull your trigger too early or you play too aggressive, you give room for Infused, for the underdog to come back, right? You don't want to be giving them chances like that.
It's true. You can't try and give them an inch. Because as we saw earlier, Hajj alone will take a mile. So the entire team, they'll be taking the whole length of the M6.
Oh, of course. Whole chicken as well, of course.
Oh.
He'll have that as well.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, whatever's on the table. Don't leave anything lying around.
So, oh, that's a nice position here as well. Going to be able to catch 1 frag. Surely. Oh, actually he doesn't. Take that back, Caster's curse. Jack somehow, some way anticipates his play. Look at the pressure now onto all these players towards B. They know they're being sandwiched in.
Getting converged on, everyone is grouping together. They would need an absolutely tenacious defense to try and hold them back. But let's see if that is going to be the case. Trials goes huge. He gets the opener. Red Snake gets 1 frag, but can he find anything else? The nade rolls out as he's trying to force them to play around. Aaron behind him as well. Surely they should find this kill eventually. They do shut him down, but the bomb has been planted. The 2 players on that T side have secured the site. They're in after plants.
No utility for the CT side. They have 3 kits. 3 versus 2, the man advantage. Lambert here, he needs to find this first kill, but good rotation. Double play through Ruin. He won't get that first kill. Peeks out, does get the first.
But he actually finds the opening frag. Snake's back in for the second, but his plenty skill to do the damage. It's a 1 versus 2 here, and Red Snake's the one trying to clutch it. It wasn't meant to be. And unfortunately, Infused couldn't quite muster it. It is going to be EnVyUs going for the 2-0.
1-man advantage there, 3 versus 2. If they win that round, 50-10, break the money, there's a chance for that comeback, but unfortunately for them, it's going to be a very dominating showing here for the first week of the Elite Series. As EnVyUs Academy, they're firing on all cylinders.
That's insane. I think if you've got to give it to anyone as well, if we talk about just individual talent for a second here.
Of course.
Come on, man. That guy, explosive. So many rounds that looked like it should have been locked down. Infused potentially had a lot more of a chance than they did. It shouldn't have been as ridiculous as it was, and he was able to open up sites on his own. We're looking at 3K entries consistently. But the better factor was, the silver lining is once we got to that second map, Mick started playing like Mick. Mick was tearing it up.
Of course.
If we would have seen that Mick on map 1, I think there could have been more of a chance.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, there was a 15-3 scoreline. Even if you had an extra player on that Infused side playing his heart out, along with Echoes, I don't really see much of a chance of them winning. Maybe it could have been a bit closer, 16-8, 16-10, but what can one player really do when the whole team is just absolutely dominating the other one?
Yeah, but what can one man do when he's on a desk with 2 old CS players? Let's go and find out.
What can one man do? Thank you, Jackie. Snods, well, that was a great matchup there, match 2. I'm going to put it out there that Infused played a little bit better, made it a bit closer, but what did you see in that match, guys?
It still felt like there was quite a gap of class between the two sides. We mentioned Lambert before we saw the 2 maps, and he really flexed his muscles on Inferno, especially you mentioned it when you came back over here. Yeah. His AWP work on Arch. Granted, his opposition were ecoing, but still that peeking left and right and grabbing those kills in quick succession at such a pace just goes to show how good of a player he really is.
Oh, c'est très bien it was. It was just bang. But, I mean, that play was so confident. They looked slick. Hadji was brilliant as well. I mean, how far can these guys go? Can they win this competition?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I put them in the final against Epsilon, like, as right now. Obviously, we haven't seen Epsilon yet, but I would definitely say they could reach the final, possibly beat Epsilon on their day.
Yeah. And what about the play from Infused? I mean, obviously, Snods and Jackie were talking about that Mick finally felt like he was unleashed a little bit. Now, will he go to next week? Can they just unleash him and Eccles a little bit more and then hopefully have a bit more of a fighting chance?
You'd hope so. It's obviously, like, they have a stand-in. They shouldn't be taking this to heart too much. Like, 9 rounds on the second map after being, trounced in that first map. It's a lot more promising, and it wasn't on their pick either, which they need to remember. They just need to focus and just forget about this week, honestly.
Maybe choose a map that they don't feel confident on, they'll perform better.
Yeah, low expectation.
Yeah, and their coach, I believe, Neil, what a reaction from him. The camera panned to him at one point. I could hear sort of oohs and ahs, because his head was in his hand. He didn't know what to do. His role throughout that was to try and motivate the boys. It seemed to work at times.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. But what I really liked about that shot was it just goes to show how much blood, sweat and tears and passion these players and obviously the coach have when it comes to Counter-Strike and wanting to win the game. And a part of me was laughing on the inside at his reaction, but another part of me really felt sorry for him.
Yeah, now you're talking about that coach for Infused. We can actually welcome down to the floor to join us, guys, the one and only Mr. Neo Sky from Team EnVyUs. Welcome over, buddy. Come and stand next to me here. Hey. Neo Sky, ça va?
Yeah, everything fine. Finally. Sometimes we had some pressure at some point, but we managed to secure the win, and yeah, everything fine now.
What were you talking to the players about throughout? Just keep going, do what you're doing.
Yeah,
we've got this.
Just basic things we had all technical details were okay. We were in the game. We knew what to do, but it was just keep calm, don't overextend, just keep their basics okay and everything fine.
What did you say to Lambert? Just shoot everybody with a sniper. Was that the tactic at one point?
I don't have to tell him that because he already knows how to do it, and when he's feeling confident, he is just going amazing. Yeah.
Did you ever have to hold back Hadji a little bit because he's just lethal? We saw that in the first map and in the second as well. He's just lethal. Do you have to sometimes just go, just rein in, keep with the tactics, or do you just unleash them?
Not really, because we have 2 beasts like that in the team. We have Jax and Hadji, who are the 2 beasts of the team, who want to go more for more. And we can really play around them and switch. Like one time Jack's going to push, one time Haji, and they're really playing well together to make things work. And so we don't need to keep him away. He knows already when to do this and when to go. Be small.
So the team in blue, the boys in blue, are obviously tipped to be one of the favourites to win the Elite Series. Do you feel pressure when you go up there, or were you kind of calm with how you were going to play today?
I mean, like, today was okay, since we knew, like, that's teams we can beat and we beat better teams. So we were feeling confident. Like, the big parts and when we were feeling like a lot of pressure will be at the end of the season when we'll be playing like big teams like Epsilon, who are also another contender to the title.
Yeah, perfect. And so what will you do now? You celebrate, you just chill out, relax a little bit, or will you just sort of get straight back in there for a few more practices?
No, I think like today is like chill, getting some food, everything, like just have fun, and we'll get back like Monday to games and yeah, back to practice.
Straight away. I love that commitment from those gentlemen. Listen, thank you so much, Neo Sky, the coach for EnVyUs. We're going to take a quick break right now, but before we go to match 4, the one that is going to be a very exciting game, Epsilon versus Reason. See you in a minute.